in Memphis is committed to add another 30K per month to their painting business. And so what that process looks like, pretty much, you qualify, which, I'm sure you wouldn't jump on this call if, you didn't already qualify me. I sent you some free leads. You went out, you did some estimates. You saw that, these are real people, right? The next part is, I ask you some qualifying questions, and that just helps us decide that if it makes sense for us to keep this party rocking and rolling, right? Then I make you an offer, and then you decide. So in terms of my qualifying questions, these questions, like I said, they'll be right here. Like I said, these questions I like to add because it'll help us pretty much know if it makes sense for us to keep rocking and rolling. And in terms of discovery questions.
Yeah, I'm new on this one here. Okay. I need to learn. Okay, okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Did that make sense to you, or do you have any questions about what I just said before, as far as the qualifying questions? Okay. Yeah, my next set of questions.
Mace, what's up, man?
Yo.
Trying to connect here.
Questions I like to ask are discovery questions, and these questions just help me understand your goal and what you're looking to accomplish, so that I can align my actions with them. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Got you. All right. So my next question is, are you interested in proceeding with the outline process to discover if this makes sense to work closely together?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I'll go ahead and get started with my qualifying questions. Are you willing to drive out to estimate?
Okay. I need to learn. Okay, okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Did that make sense to you, or do you have any questions about what? What I just said before, as far as the qualifying questions? Okay. Yeah, my next set of questions I like to ask are discovery questions, and these questions just help me understand your goal and what you're looking to accomplish, so that I can align my actions with them. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Got you. All right. So my next question is, are you interested in proceeding with the outline process to discover if this makes sense to work closely together?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I'll go ahead and get started with my qualifying questions. Are you willing to drive out to estimates in a 20 to 25 mile radius?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Are you open for us to run different offers on ads, like 10%, 15% off? And the reason that I asked this question here is because sometimes we run different offers on our ads to just get more leads, right? Just to kind of see what's working out there. But we always like to be transparent and upfront with the business owners. That way, if somebody does bring up a 10 or 15% off, that you understand, it's not
okay. No problem.
Okay, got you. Cool. And can you take on 30 to 50 new leads per month?
Yes, any leads, that's fine. I'm on work. I can hire some more guys. I have no problem with that.
Awesome. My next question, if a lead comes at a reasonable time of day, like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., will you on average be able to call them within 5 minutes? And the reason I ask this question here is because when a lead opts into our funnel, that's what time frame we're typically reaching out to the lead, within 5 minutes, because they're hot, ripe, and in there. And I always like to make sure that our clients know that they understand that, that's the procedure to getting the best, the highest ROI. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. You don't have a problem with that?
No, I don't have a problem.
Okay, cool. My next question is, do you have any other business partners involved, or does the spouse make decisions with you regarding the business?
No, just okay. I'm working sometimes with the angel leads, but that's too much money.
Okay.
And too many guys say one job that doesn't work.
Got you. And how much are you spending with angel leads?
Like $200 or $100 a week.
So $200 to $100 per week. And are you getting any results with them? Like, are they giving you decent quality leads, or?
I never know, because sometimes it's good customers. Sometimes just they need some estimates, and then sometimes I get the job. But it's okay.
Okay, I got you. How long have you been using Angelus?
About 10 years.
10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Years, got you. All right. My next question is regarding your. marketing budget. We can spend as much as you want, but bare minimum that we need to get our clients ROI is a marketing budget of $35 a day. If we could get you 15 qualified leads per month, just like the last 3 that we gave you, are you able to spend about $35 per day bare minimum?
Yeah, sure.
Got you. Cool. All right, Eric, check it.
How much that is a month?
Mhm.
1,050 a month. I was just trying to figure out how much it was a month.
Yeah. 8 and 10, hope you guys are doing well. Me and Mason are just sitting in listening to a sales call where we're waiting for you guys to show up. Just gonna listen for a little bit longer until the other guys hop in.
Can off all the boxes, Jose?
Okay. Depending on okay. How this work? You say depending how much money I want to spend, right?
Yeah. So when it comes to marketing budget, absolutely you can spend as much as you want, but bare minimum to get like at least.
Actually, I'm so sorry. We should delve right in because I know Jeremy has to get going. But we'll come back to this. Jeremy, give me just
I won't
one.
take it. I won't take long, fellas.
Okay, I'll be right. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll just do Donald Trump.
Oh man, yo, Aiden, it looks like you're due for a haircut, brother.
Literally, I was like, every day I've been like, oh, I need to go get a haircut today, and then I forget. But yeah, every day, yeah.
Starting to look like Wolverine.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
No, I'm just joking.
Bad.
Just joking, bro. How you guys doing though?
Doing good. Just telling Tenny we got dropped by one of our clients. She's also our bookkeeper, so it's kind of awkward because we have to keep communicating with her.
Oh, so like was it kind of like a trade-off where she would do services for you and you would do services for her and she would do services for you?
Well, not necessarily. Like we paid each other for our services. We're not like doing a friend discount or anything like that. It was just like she was selling a course. Oh, dude, it was unfortunate because yeah, she's selling a course to contractors. And so she's literally like running ads to contractors and working with the people that I want to work with. And so I was hoping to hit it out of the park for her so she could recommend us to other contractors. And anyways, I actually one of these, if you guys I know she dropped us, but it like bugs the crap out of me knowing that I could have hit it out of the park for her, and I just want to know what the heck I did wrong. So I might actually record a video for Koshik and Mason for you guys to watch because we're running ads for her course and weren't getting any purchases, and so she finally just moved on. We were doing that for like 6 or 9 months, maybe.
She was or was not getting sales.
She was not.
What was the price point? And I want to come back to this. I want to spend a little bit more time on this, but like, how much was the course for?
So initially the main one was $1,000. When it really was selling was like around the holidays when we were offering it for like 50% off. So it was like $500 or something.
Yeah, $500 to $2,000 is like literally the hardest price to crack, but it's the gold mine. So that's where, yeah. So the only way to make that work, and we'll come back to it, those are like automated webinars. They're not going to go work. It's not going to go right to a sales page and like it'll sell at 500. Like that's as good as it gets, and then it eventually will die out.
Yeah.
But we'll come back. We'll visit that. But I do think that's a really cool strategy as well, potentially even for you guys if you guys can crack that.
Yeah.
So I might revisit that.
So I was telling Tenny that like it's good that she dropped us, but like it's good because now we have more time and energy to focus on free to fee. So
yeah, for sure. Mr. Jeremy, what's going on?
Sure. Yeah. Hope you all had a great holiday. I won't take very long so you guys can get back into it. I told you in Slack last week I paused my ads and I thought I'd just leave them paused this week because since 2005 I've had several people that hired me when I first started. They're recurring things and they happen like high school graduations, dance recitals, stuff like that. So this week I have a couple of those that pop and I have to take care of them. They've been loyal to me and I have to take care of them. So
Yeah.
I just thought I'm going to be so busy with that. I'm just going to let the ads cool for this week because I wouldn't have time to get to anything to really analyze or see what's going on. And even if they started popping all of a sudden, then I'd be in trouble. So this weekend, I'm going to come in and spend some time and try to get that stuff back on track. It's frustrating to no end, but you know, I don't want to whine. It's just, I'm failing forward, failing forward. That's what I keep telling myself. So, it's funny you guys said you were talking about $1,000 price point. One of the clients I have is Dr. Glenn in New Jersey, and he's been trying to sell for the first month that I've worked with him. He's been trying to sell his one. He has 3 different services: Agnes, Scarlet, micro needling, and then a plasma pin full face. Normally they're like $1,300. He's been trying to sell them for $1,995. And I have been begging him, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And he just, it's weird. I have 2 people who they're bad communicators. The people in Florida and him. I will respond to him directly, whether via video, text. It doesn't matter. I'll tell him, look, the color I want you to paint the room in is blue. And like 2 days later, I'll get a message going, what was that color? What color should we paint this room, guys? As if I've never even approached the topic. And I'll put blue. A couple days will go past and he'll go, still waiting on an answer for that room. What do you guys think? Am I going nuts? Am I, you know, so anyway, it's just how it is with him. And I bet I showed my wife one weekend, like I had left him 5 or 6.
Here's how you fix problems with people like him, though. The problem is this. The problem is that it's not that they don't listen. It's not that they don't understand. The problem is infrequent communication where it's not a cadence. When you drill somebody daily or every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they have to get back to you, now you're top of mind. But the moment you talk to somebody and then you wait like 4 days, 5 days, it was top of mind, but then it just forgets. You have to, that's the only way to fix people like him. So just so you know in the future, it's like the only solution to this is tight leash, and you have to force that communication, or else he's never going to come. Like I'll tell you right now, here's what you should know. And again, just to prevent you from having the issue where you have somebody that you're working extremely hard for, that behavior will never change unless you force that.
Yeah,
Always.
boy, I've tried. Thankfully, he did hire a virtual assistant.
Okay.
The virtual assistant, now, keep in mind, Dr. Glenn is a dentist who owns an aesthetic shop. He doesn't work at all in the aesthetic shop.
I see.
And for some reason, he will not put the aesthetic lady who I've had conversations with, he will not put her in front of me. He tells me her schedule's too full. She's got too many things going on with her kids, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm like, but I got to talk to the person who's doing the work. And anyway, so he got her a virtual assistant, and that's who I'm speaking to now. So I'm hoping things will get a little bit better, but it's awful weird because he finally acquiesced and said, okay, this weekend he sent me a message and said, all right, I believe you now. Let's do an offer for $499. I was like, man, can't we just do something for like 99 or 199? And he's like, no, I don't want these people. They're cheap. They come in, that's all they want. And so I'm like, all right, we'll try the $499. I figure that month 2
has he made how much has he spent on ads, and have you made him ROI yet?
Well, he's got one booking, but no, he's not made any ROI. He had 50 something leads in the first month, 57 leads, and he had one booking. But here's the problem. Again, since he won't let me connect to the lady, he says he's the one making the phone calls, which how's he really doing that? And so I've been kind of hammering him on the nurturing and following up process. Like, how's this going? Can you give me a call example? Can we have a meeting? And he always just kind of evades that, slips out of my hands. So I know he's not really calling, but this kid from the Philippines is. And within the first 3 days, he's got a booking. So I have a feeling things are going to change now because this kid, it's funny, he's the virtual assistant for the doctor in Virginia who paid me, hired me, and has just kind of ghosted me. So Richard is his name. He's been just like begging me for work because I think the doctor in Virginia is a very busy doctor who has opened up an aesthetic spa on the side, doesn't have a lot of work. He's not keeping Richard busy. So Richard, he's like always messaging me saying, does any of your clients need help? Do you need help? So I connected him to Dr. Glenn, and this kid is like, he hit the ground running. He knows what he's doing. So I really think even maybe with this $500 offer, we'll start getting some traction because Richard is calling them immediately when it comes in. I had the chat bot set up for this doctor. We rearranged it so that it's now telling the people Richard's going to call you, and it's, it's prepping them for him. And he's calling them once, twice, three times. After the third time, he moves them on into the marketing column. But within, like I said, 3 days, he'd already had one $1,000 sale, which I thought would be impossible. But he got it. So maybe the $4.99 offer will work.
It's a sale or a booking to come in?
The $1,000 sale, he booked it. They came in today at 11 o'clock and did their treatment for $1,000.
Oh, wow. All right, let's go. Good.
So, yeah, we didn't we didn't hit the ROI, because if you think of the ROI, his ad spend was 1,500, but we got off of just with the one sale there at the buzzer, we got close.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think this month, what's left of April and into May, I go through with this guy all the way through part of June. I think I'm anxious to see what Richard will pull off for him. So I'm happy about that. The lady in Greenwood, she recorded me a testimonial video like Alpita's. It's like 3 minutes long. She just goes on and on and on. Actually it brought tears to my eyes. Just so nice. And she's like, I have a whole group of people I communicate with. If I start referring people your way, would you give me a discount on my services? And I said, yes. What do you want to do? She said, maybe just $100. So I was like, all right, look, if you can bring me 5 people and they're paying me $1,000, $1,500 a month, yeah, I'd give you $500 off. So I'm hoping she'll bring me some stuff. That I did get it's weird. None of my ads are running, so somebody must have saved my ad, because I got a chat from a lady today in the UK wanting me to help her with her med spa. And I don't know how she would have seen it, because I wasn't running anything outside of the United States, unless Facebook just got a little tipsy one night and sent one off overseas. So I have that. And then I had another chat come in from somebody else who must have done it, who has a nail salon. So I don't know if I can help her. But anyway, so there's some of this stuff like is having residual effects. Like it's maybe
Really?
they saved the posts or whatever.
About the referral, I just want to spend a little bit of time on. Can you message me and Mason about that? Because I want to send you some. There's like a playbook on
Okay.
how to do referrals. But it's something along the lines of you have a 3-way where
All right.
if it's possible, not that kind of 3-way. It's the kind of 3-way where you're like taking a picture together with the person and then you send that over to the third person. So if it's possible for you and her, I don't know, to have like a Zoom call and then it's sent over to the third person, and now
Right.
you get and then that person responds, and then from there you can go in and have a conversation with that person. So, and the reason I bring this up is if you wait for her to refer, oftentimes it actually doesn't work.
Okay.
Like I know it sounds good, and here I've been in your shoes for 7+ years. The number of times people have told me, "Oh, I'm going to send somebody," never happens. Like maybe twice. The only ways it's ever happened is when people do something directly. Like I've had a few clients that come in where, like, for example, Aaron Sawyer's like posted about me inside of a Facebook group, and then from there people commented, and then they found me. But even then, when they found me, I had to create an Instagram story, and then they replied to the offer. And so it never works, like in my experience. So what you have to do is you have to make it happen. So that person connects, and then you actually follow up.
Okay. Yeah, I see Mason just sent it to me in Slack, a video, Hormozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch that. Anyway, just the positive news with her. I think it was last Wednesday, I sat down and did her math, and she's had sales since then. But it hadn't even been a month. It had been about 3 weeks at that point. She had made $6,000 in her first month with me.
Nice.
She's only spending $30 a day on her ads. So, and she's the one I gave the 1 month trial to. So she paid me $1,000. She gave Facebook $900, and she made $6,000.
And then did she pay the remaining balance for the pay in full or no?
That is the conversation we have on April 24th.
So,
we'll see.
Okay. So when did she pay you?
Well, it would have been around March 24th, right around there.
And you made her the offer of, hey, look, I'll, get you in for $1,000. And then from there, as long as you can pay off the remaining balance, we'll go ahead and give you the discount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I may have messed it up. I think what I told her was, let's go for a month. And after a month, if you feel if you're good for it, I'll still, because I was telling him $1,000 a month for 3 months, or you can pay 2,500 in full. So I think what I offered her was $1,000 for the first month. If after the first month you still want to sign up with me, if you pay $1,500 in full, that'll give you the full 3 months.
Yeah,
Or we can just do 2 months a month and 1,000 per month.
yeah,
So-
that's what it is. Now, I would say in your case, I mean, it's how you do the math. Like it's got it like 6,250 is like 25% more than 5 grand. So the math has to like make sense. So like if you get her to do like the idea behind the paid in full is for you to get a big lump sum of cash
Right.
that actually moves like that will actually make like a pretty big impact for your marketing budget or whatever you want to put it towards. So I would say getting her to pay you $1,500, it's not shabby, but there's not a big difference between $1,500 versus like 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Like if you
Yeah,
got her to pay you
I-
3 grand,
I
now
got to change my prices.
you do. Your prices are way too cheap.
Yeah. I have, yeah. But, I think my prices were set out of my
So if
own
I were
lack
you,
of confidence in myself.
if I were you, here's what I would do. I would most likely here's what's happened. She's actually probably forgotten about the 15. This is not a malicious thing. You can change up the offer. So instead of saying, hey, $1,500 for the another 2 months, you can maybe say something like 3 grand for another 2 months, and we're going to go and add on this additional service.
Right.
Now it becomes worth it. Now you're doing a cross sell, you're doing an upsell. That, and then she's going to have the money for it. So that's something I would probably do if I were you.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about trying to figure out something that I could throw in there that might be a curveball. So that's a good idea. Yeah. So, yeah, she's just killing it. Alpida's still making mind-numbingly unbelievable numbers.
Yeah.
Let's see, Dr. Glenn, I told you about. The other one is Essentials in Florida, and I just cannot crack the nut with these people. No, she and I have spent a lot of time on the phone because that seems to be I'll message her on Slack, send her something on Facebook. I'll even text, no response. But if I call, she picks up and we talk. And so I've been, kind of trying to call her once or twice a week just to check in. Hey, you saw I did this, I tried this. How's this going? Can you tell me how this is going? And she'll talk to me. But I cannot for the life of me.
What's the issue? Is the cost per lead is too high, or the cost
No,
of
remember, this is the one we talked about last week. Like all the numbers look healthy. It's just the leads are slower. So, when you compare her to the Greenwood or Pennsylvania, that's the other one, Pennsylvania. Dr. Glenn is kind of a outlier because of his price. But after that meeting, I spent some time the following day just kind of like, okay, let me line up these 3 or 4 campaigns next to each other. And they all are within $5 to $10 of each other on everything. It's just weird. They don't get the last lead she got was 3 or 4 days ago. While the same, it's just, I don't understand. I don't know. I think, and I've told her, she's only spending $30 a day. Whereas these other people, like the Greenwood lady is spending $30 a day, but her population is half what Clearwater, Florida is. So she doesn't have to spend $50 a day. But Pennsylvania, Dr. Glenn, everyone else is spending $50 a day. That is the only, it's either the offer is bad or the budget isn't big enough or both. And I feel like the offers aren't horrible. They're in line with what I've done with everybody else. They're in line when I do Facebook ads libraries, the offer she's creating, the price point, the things that go with it, all that stuff. The creatives look good. My feeling is
I think
she
so
is
too.
just in a place that's too competitive. She's got to spend more money.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but that kind of catches you up on everything I'm doing and working on. Even though I'm not running my ads, I'm working. Like I just feel like, okay, look, I'm a little slow, so this is the time where I'm gonna start dialing in, trying to figure out service delivery for these people better. Because I think with Alpida, I may have like a lifetime customer. I think with the lady in Greenwood, I may have a lifetime customer. I think even though Dr. Glenn has been slow, he and I get along really good. He really likes Richard. I think I may have a guy here who especially if we start booking this $500 deal for him, I think I might end up with a lifetime customer. So that's been my goal, is like, okay, so things aren't going well for me. If I just sit here and twiddle my thumbs looking at Facebook Ads Manager, watching the numbers, I go crazy. So I've just been diving deep into, trying to make sure I'm talking to them, following up with them, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Is there anything I can do to help you? I
Where
just
did
haven't been able to crack the Florida nut.
Yeah, I think that's just to spend more money, honestly. If you can get her to spend more money, then I think you're good. I think that's literally all it is. Assuming the cost per lead is within range, assuming that their conversion rate of, lead to booking is about the same. It's just a spend more money thing.
Yeah, and I think they are the only ones I'm working with that are in, like, she's in a tourist trap area.
Yeah.
I think I told you last week, when you type in just medical spa or spa, Clearwood, Florida,
Like 20,
7 pages of results come up on the map.
Yeah.
So I told her, I think aside from your budget, I think our ad creative has to be like constantly changing, or we have to have multiples running at the same time, because it's like you turn on the new ad and all of a sudden we got 7 or 8 new leads. And then 10 days after, it just goes silent again. So I
Yeah.
just told her, I think, they also have a high turnover because of tourism. So, I've made sure I've switched it on in the ads manager where it's marketing to people who might be coming to the area and stuff like that. So, I just told her, I said, between your budget and the competitive level, yours is just going to require
What did she say to
constant.
them? Is she okay with spending more money or no?
She kind of hemmed and hawed and said, if we have to get to that, we can do that. And she was showing me some ads from like 22 and 23 that somebody else did for her, that she said were just blowing up and keeping them really busy and making a lot of money. But when you looked at the ads compared to the numbers I'm running for her, first of all, I have a smaller budget. She was running a bigger budget back then. So if you put things apples to apples, I'm on the same pace.
Have you tried turning that ad set and that ad back on?
Well, yeah, we essentially, with the current ad I'm running with her, I duplicated everything. Paused what I was doing, went back to that one, duplicated it, and just slipped my ad in.
Well, what I recommend doing always before you do that is like literally turn on the exact same ad set and ad first, and then do the duplicate. Because when you turn on the exact ad set and ad, it's kind of like it's something really weird, but it's like Facebook goes back to the exact same pond sometimes.
Okay.
That's why. So like, so the ad set that you do, the ad set, so whatever you did might find a different pond, is what I'm saying.
I tried to get to her, and this is where it gets tough, because it's not like they don't want to talk about it, but it almost is like a wall goes up. There's two things. One, they use this software called Zenoti, and Zenoti is like Go High Level, except it's made more for spas and people like that. But it is absolutely incompatible with Go High Level. It will not work. There's nothing I've been she sent me emails that she sent back and forth with them about connecting, and they just refuse. And one of them, they said, we can't do that. They're our competitor. So I've told her, and she complains constantly about Zenoti. And I'm like, why don't you just get rid of it and let's just go High Level? They don't want to do that. They've invested way too much money in it. They're still paying that off. So it kind of handcuffs me. I can't do anything. Zenoti's calendar and Go High Level Google will not connect. So I can't create a landing page where somebody can go in and book a date and time. Just can't do it. The only thing I can do is create a calendar where somebody can book a date and time, but then it comes with a giant red flag that says, by the way, this might already be booked. Well, who's going to book that? So there's that. And then, like I said, she was showing me these successful campaigns from like 2 or 3 years ago. And when you do apples to apples, my numbers are the same. The other one might beat me by a hair if it was a 100-meter race. Like, one of theirs had 230 something leads. Mine had 214 leads.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, okay, I'm bringing people to you. And she's like, well, back then people seemed to answer the phone more. And it's just like, I doubt it. But I to me, what's broken is their nurturing and their following up system. She tells me all the time they have some kids who work the front desk, and her daughter is one of the people who are making these phone calls. And I have begged her, would you please, they told me all their calls are recorded. I said, can I listen to a few of them? Would you send me? Oh yeah, sure. And they never do. Can I listen to some? Yeah, sure. And they never do. I've told her, if you would just have your sales people, the people making these phone calls, if you'll tell me the best pizza place in Clearwater, I'll order 3 or 4 pizzas, have them sent to your place. We'll get on Zoom and I'll do a sales training with them. We'll just walk through. I'll help them in this and that. I developed scripts for her through ChatGPT for the offers, overcoming objections. It's just like I have literally thrown everything I can at these people, but it's always like, again, it's what it almost feels like is they signed with me, they expected it to work, and when it didn't go the way they wanted within the first couple of weeks, they've just given up. And so now I have to kind of drag them to me.
Have you tried? I mean, remember how like sometimes we'll do a case where you'll work the leads initially and then you got Richard.
Yeah, this was actually the first ones I did it for.
Oh, okay.
Where I called and I made like 30 phone calls in one day and I spoke to 4 people and made 1 sale.
Yeah.
They just
Okay.
couldn't believe that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you're probably, I've told her over and over, your pickup rate probably is going to be between 10 to 20%, depending on what day it is and how quickly you get back to the person who filled out the form. And, those are the ones, those people have to turn into sharks. They just have to. And I think their nurturing, however they're doing it, is broken.
Yeah, probably. It's probably twofold, right? It's probably you're spending less, and then of the that you're spending, probably less pickup. And she probably is right. Like, I mean, trust is lower than it was back like, 3, 4 years ago. That's probably a part of it. It's not a huge part of it, but it's probably a little bit of it. But it's mostly just ad spend and nurture, like you said. Your gut instinct is right. Like I would agree.
That's
Yeah.
what I feel. And I'll probably end up losing them. They only have a few weeks left. These
How
were
did
the
you?
people who, when I first met them, she said she was looking for a new long-term marketing relationship. So that's why I feel like I have bent over. I offered the pizza. I've sent them scripts. I've made 10 Loom calls saying this is how I would do it and made phone calls for it. I have tried everything to make this work and it's just like beating my head against the wall.
It's all right. Not, in my experience, it's like, what I saw like with Aman, for example, like we shut his ads off like, I don't know, 3 months ago or something. It's been a while. And we still have a good handful of like loyal clients. And so the fact that you mentioned what you mentioned earlier of like, hey, look, I got 3 lifelong clients, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like you've been here for 9 months almost, and you've seen the number of faces that came in, the number of faces that stay. And I'm okay with that. And you have to be okay with that as well. It's like most people are just not gonna, they're not gonna stick around. That's okay. It's just not a good fit. But the lifelong
my goal with this is if I can get 10 of those,
yeah,
feel pretty good.
yeah.
And then, obviously then you can scale up. But if I know I've got a lot of work to do and a lot to learn yet. So I'm just trying to be patient. And I always think about how you're a very calm person. I always imagine you in your chair going, hey, you're falling forward. And that's all you're doing. And so, so that's what I imagine. So,
how'd you find Richard?
well, Richard was the VA for the doctor in Sterling, Virginia, who hired me back in November, paid me $3,000 and hasn't talked to me since.
But so that was that his hire then?
Well, Richard is that doctor's VA.
Like what I'm saying is, did you find Richard? Did he find Richard?
I gave Richard over to Dr. Glenn.
How'd you find
They
Richard?
worked out a deal.
And how did you find Richard?
I found Richard because he was the VA of the doctor in Virginia who paid me and has ghosted me so far. And then he pestered me to death.
So no, what I'm asking is like, so you got the doctor in Virginia who paid and then ghosted. What I'm saying is, in that experience, did the doctor from Virginia find Richard? Or did you find Richard from
The doctor, he was already with, yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
He was already with that doctor.
And the reason I'm asking is like, I'm wondering about the training that he's received. Did he receive training from that person, or like who's he receiving?
I don't know who but Richard is he and I have been talking on Slack about ads, like, and he's like, hey, maybe we could change this to make it more like this. And his advice, it's not like somebody just going, whoa, try this. He's very like, look, here's how I'm making the phone calls. If we could have the chat bot saying these 3 things to prep them for me, then I can explain. I mean, he's something, and he
The reason
told me
I'm asking,
he's training some people over there.
yeah, the
I don't
reason,
know if he's trying to start his own little thing.
yeah, the reason I'm asking is he could be your right-hand man. Again, Mason's great at like training setters, and he's got a cool course, and he works with like a few of them. He's probably worked with like, I don't know, Mason like 3, 4 setters at this point.
Probably more, but yeah.
So he's got a lot of experience. So what I'm saying is, in thinking about longevity, about the clients you're gonna have down the road, he's somebody that would be really good friends with. He's somebody that would try to not just be good friends with, but try to see, well, can I pay him to get him to pay more attention? Can I pay him higher? Or not even you, but like, can I get more clients and feed them to him, or do whatever you need to do to keep him on your side? Because he sounds like a guy you want to have in your corner.
I referred him to Alpita, the first one, and he told her no.
He told her, Richard told
told
Alpita.
Alpita no.
Why? Because of her, what she was asking him
Because
for?
she's too demanding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you know, he's asking for $6 an hour.
Yeah.
And she apparently was just asking so much, and then she wanted to pay him $3 an hour, and he told her to hit the highway. And then the next person I referred him to was the lady in Pennsylvania, and same thing. She just didn't quite want to pay him what he was asking for, and he just told her no. And I'm like, dude, this guy, for somebody who's starving, he's got balls of steel.
Mm.
He knows what he wants, what he thinks he's worth, and he will not work for anything less than that. He sent Dr. Glenn and him met, and they agreed at $6 an hour. He sent Dr. Glenn a contract to sign for $6 for the first 3 months and $7.50 for the next month, 3 months after that. And he had like this escalating raise for himself. And Dr. Glenn told him, no. We're going to do $6 an hour for 3 months. Then we'll see where we are. But he's like, he just, that kid has no fear. When you talk to him, he sounds like Mike Tyson on helium. So it's even worse. You know, he's like, you know, I'm feeling, you know, it's like, what? Anyway, and he looks like he's about this tall. If you saw him in real life, you're like, oh shoot, sorry, Richard, I didn't mean to step on you. So but man, he is gutsy, and I'm going to ask him to record some of his calls, but I haven't heard him on a call, but I'll bet you $1 that guy's like Alpita on the phone.
Yeah, I bet.
He's sharp.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay.
But anyway, he's told me he's training other young people in the Philippines to do what he does. And I said, well, when you get more people, I'll hire them through you. We'll hire them through you and create your own little agency. So
Good stuff. Jeremy, is there anything else that you wanted to catch me up on? Anything else?
No, it's good to see everybody's faces. Hope you're all doing well. Like I said, I hope you had a great Easter, and pray for me to get through this week. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are going to be hellish. I mean, I don't know if you all have ever done anything with dance studios, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like 10 hours a day, all 3 days, all I'm doing is taking pictures of dancers. And they're not like New York Rockettes. These are like 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds who get up there, and as soon as the camera turns on, they're like, you're like, oh my gosh. And you've got dance moms behind me going, okay, frill it up, come on, girls. You know, and you're just like, this is just a picture. Can I just snap the picture, please? So it's hard. It sounds like it would be easy, but I swear to God, if Al Qaeda caught me, and I had the nuclear codes, and they were like, give us the nuclear codes, I'd be like, never, I'll never sell out my country. And they're like, fine, set him over there in front of that camera and make him take pictures of those girls for 3 days. I'd be like, the codes are 0, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. You want to make sure you hit that 10 is 1, 0, not a 0, you know. So anyway, I would give it up so quick. You all would be dead. So yeah. Well, anyway, I have to get off of here, but thanks for listening to me, and thanks for the advice. I may send you a Loom video this week if I get a chance of how I've got just like a comparison of the essentials, the Florida one and another one, just to see if you see anything that stands out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Jeremy is a clown, man. So, who do we got next? I think. Okay, Righteous Aiden. Righteous, I was just like look at your sales call. I made a few did you get a chance to did you get any notifications on that?
I just got him. I was like, how is he doing that? But
Okay.
yeah, I just got him. I was able to kind of scroll through, but I don't know. I didn't. I gotta watch the video to see like
Yeah.
where it was at the
Yeah.
stamp set.
I was just there was some time to kill while I was waiting for people to hop in, so I just kind of watched it. And I think what I'll do is like maybe I'll just like run through this, like some of the comments I made, just to kind of like let you know what I'm kind of seeing here. And then we'll delve into your questions. But give me just a second. I'll be right back, guys. Just one second.
Cool, cool.
Dude, what do you guys think? I kind of wonder if Jeremy should like try to fire that client in Clearwater, Florida, because I'm like, he's doing all that for him, and they're not giving him anything to work with. It's like, dude, you gotta fire them, or at least like level with them like that. You know? I don't know. I don't know if that's an option for him, but
Just with like, I don't know. I feel like locations like that, they're so competitive that like you can get results in them. You just have to like launch way more ads. Like the creatives need to be kept up with way more where like you can get away with like I was running a painting ad in upstate New York for probably like 2 months straight and it worked for 2 months straight. With some place like Clearwater, Florida, bro, it's like you need a new ad like every 3 days. Like straight up. Like if you're not testing to beat what you already have, dude, you're might as well in the dust. I don't know. Especially with like that's something that I've been kind of learning a lot more into. Like I've always like have gone through like testing ads and like waiting to find the perfect one to like appear. And it always does. That's the thing, right? And once it does, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I don't have to do shit for the next like 3 months. And then after my 3 months hits, I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't have an ad yet. And then I like find myself in this like hamster cycle of like making all this money and then being like, okay, shit, like I need to go find my ad again. And that's kind of a mistake that I always made. So it's like now I'm at a state where like it's kind
Mason,
of like a little game where I'm trying to fucking beat the thing that I have, and it's just so damn hard sometimes. But it's like even if I get it like 75% of the way there, I'm extremely happy because I'm like, okay, now I have another 3 months and not have to worry about anything.
Mason, I've been playing that game for the last 7 years.
Bro, yeah, I get it now. I get it, dude. I'm like once I crack it, I'm like, oh, like I'm never turning this off. Like it's good. I can just switch the hook. I can do this. I can do that. And I don't have to worry about it.
Like you make something good, it works and it fucking prints. And it's like there's no amount of dopamine that I'm gonna get from creating organic content that is like worth it. That's just like I'm just like fuck this. And then in terms of ads, it's just like the time and energy is just like no, dude, just fucking print. And then before you know it, it stops working and you're fucking sweating bullets because you're just
It's like
like
nothing else matters anymore other than like trying to fucking get the ad back. It's like I don't care about that. I don't care cloud fulfillment. I don't care about that. I need to figure this out. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Like
and the
where
problem is like the stress of that never goes away unless like I have had that stress forever. But like here's the thing. So there's levels to it, right? Level one is just worrying about the ad. Here's what you haven't experienced yet. There's it gets worse. The second level is having so you know that the ad is going to stop performing sooner or later. So you're just like chilling and you're waiting for the PSTD, right?
yeah,
Okay, well there's PSTD's dad. You know what PST
PTSD's dad.
yeah,
What,
PTSD's dad. You
what,
know that's when not the ad stops working, that's when the funnel stops working.
yeah, dude. Actually,
And then you got to create a brand new funnel. So it's one thing to like switch out ads every 3 months or so. It's another thing to know you just dread. You're like, man, I got 2 years with this fucker, and then I'm gonna have to.
right. It's like now there's something else that you need to figure out completely in order to make it work. That's kind of where I don't know. I feel like because I was talking to Zach the other day about this, not the Zach that you know, but another Zach fitness coach, and he's like, because he was spending probably like 400 bucks a day on like follower ads and stuff. And he's like, yeah, dude, like I just he runs them, then he not doesn't run them, then he runs them, he doesn't run them. He's like, bro, like this is just so inconsistent. I'm having so many conversations. Like I can't do it anymore, dude. He's like, it's like I have to figure out something else. He's like, now I'm gonna launch this guide and this and that. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly. Now he's like, now I gotta do a low ticket funnel. I'm like, Shit, man, like it sounds like you got some chaos going on over there.
Is he in Brandon's program or is he from
So he was in Brandon's program before, but he also is in Will Nelson's currently.
okay, so is
He's in his elite mentorship program right now.
is he finally have something that's working or it's not working now that he's with Will?
So, I mean, he's been pretty successful, like without Will, just by doing kind of Brandon stuff. Like I think he's always been somewhere around like 40 to 60K a month. I think one of his best months was like 70 to 80. But I know as of right now, like, I mean, I've reached out to Tyler and Brandon's program. He's only had two closes. We've had literally nothing this month, which is crazy, which is something that's like insane for us. But
Wait, hold on. You reached out to who?
there's a guy named Tyler inside of Brandon's program. He just does the follower ads. I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, like, how's it going for you? And he's like, dude, it's such a slow month for us. I'm just reaching out to like all the fitness coaches. And what I've kind of really, it's so weird. It's like it comes and goes in waves, where it's like either everyone does well all at once or like everyone does shit all at once. It's such an interesting thing. So I don't know. It just has me thinking that we have to like up our game in terms of like the stuff that we're producing and trying to figure out ways to give women more value and not necessarily switching our offer, but finding new ways of getting people there in terms of like freebies and things to get them there. So like we're launching another ad. Like I literally just launched another ad today that is it's not a metabolism boosting cheat sheet anymore. It's a meal plan guide for like an entire week.
I guess what I'm asking is, so go ahead, go ahead.
No, that's all I was gonna say. So like we're testing that out right now. And we're also starting to look into potentially, obviously not necessarily right now, because this wouldn't necessarily fix a huge problem for us, but looking into getting registered to and partner up with certain businesses and online like tests so we can order tests for people that join our program and check their hormones and do all that type of different stuff to differentiate ourselves. Because I feel like there's so many people out there right now, and the level of entry and the skill that you need to become a fitness coach with just like the follower funnel is like stupidly simple, where anyone can do it. And we're just working on trying to be better than all of those people as well. Be better than those people. Give out more content, give out more things, post directly to our avatar, and really start to like give like tests like, hey, like, are you a woman over 40 and whatever you need to do can't lose weight? Well, it's probably not your diet's this. You've tried all these things before. Realistically, what you need to do is you need to do this. And in this
Yeah.
test, what we'll do is we'll read the results that your doctors won't. Like that's the type of stuff that I see like that's doing well right now. Because like the Zach that you know, that's what he's doing now. So Zach doesn't help guys anymore. Zach helps females. I don't know why he did that, but it's probably for the reasons that I was telling you like a year ago, and the fact that it's a little bit easier to get the calls with them or a little bit cheaper.
Wait,
But
what did you what do you mean a year ago?
so like a year ago when I was telling you like, oh, like what are the pros and cons for marketing for fitness people in terms of like male and female.
Oh, right.
So that's what I meant by that. So
So
he moved directly over to there, and now his ads are a little bit different. Because I have like a Google sheet, and all the coaches that I've seen out there doing like above 50K per month, I just compile them into a Google Doc, and then I fucking check their shit all the time.
it's just females.
Well, it can be males, but they're marketing to females. If that
Right.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's like they're all going after the female archetype.
Yeah. So people not, I mean, some people are necessarily in our niche, but some people may solve a different problem or something along the lines of that, but mostly females. Yeah.
So 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 I guess my question is like, so initially you were doing like the follower ads and then now you're doing DM ads. So what I'm asking is like, so you got this one guy who's doing 40, 60,000 or whatever he's with Will now. Is he still doing the follower method or is he doing the DM method? That's kind of
So,
like
yeah.
what machine works. Like I understand what you're doing. What you're doing is you're doing DMs and you're just switching out the lead magnet.
Yep.
Slightly different thing, different way to get people in. That's like kind of like me changing the low ticket from 7 days video market to like sales academy to like
Right. Right.
you're slightly changing your thing, but it's still DMs. Um, So like I guess what is it? Is it followers? Is it DMs? Like which one?
Yeah, so Zach right now, he switched to DM completely. So he's not even running the follower stuff anymore. And mind you, he's spending like 300, 400 bucks a day on followers.
So he switched over to DMs, like
Yes.
the guy from Will's program. So everybody's okay. Got it. Okay.
Yep. And that's kind of what I've been seeing as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I know people are still doing the follower stuff because it does work. And don't get me wrong, like it does work, but I just don't think the ROI is there for the amount of effort that you really need to put in to make it work with setters. It was crazy, dude. He sent me this thing the other day. It's like 1,500 bucks. It's like an appointment setter, um, like AI bot, and it does like ridiculously well. Like I had a conversation with it, and I was like, wow, like I would consider paying for that. Like that's how good it was, and it even does outbound, which I
Hmm.
thought was really interesting. I was like, wow, like this could be very interesting, but. I don't know. The direction that the fitness stuff is heading it's got me uneasy right now in
Yeah.
terms of client fulfillment, just because it's been so steady. So I'm just probably not being as patient, but
What's been steady?
like the strategy that we've been using, like we've run the same ad for like it was kind of like, you know, before what we were talking about before you entered, which was like I found a winning ad. I didn't have to touch it for like a month or two.
Yeah. Are you still using that same one or no?
Mm,
Did you just create a
the
new?
metabolism one, yeah, but I literally just created a new one, so I haven't tested it enough, but we're definitely at the point where
In terms
like
of things being slower,
yeah.
things are slow for you guys. Like, is the bottleneck the cost per lead? Is the bottleneck the cost per
Dude,
book?
it's the quality for us. So we're throwing new ads at the wall and we're trying to like get better qualifiers and do better qualifications on the
So it's
call.
the, so it's the cost per qualified sales call.
Yeah.
So you're getting cost per lead, cost per book call, cost per sales call. Every
Our
metric is
KPIs are phenomenal in terms of like cost per book call, cost per report call, all that. I mean, it's great.
it's
The
cost per
only
qualified lead.
it's just the qualified leads. You know, it's like the show up rate is it's average. The show up rates are fine. Everything's fine. We're booking enough calls. It's just the quality of the lead. They don't have any purchasing power, so it's just hard
And that's an issue of
lead quality.
so this tinfoil hat theory, right? Just my experience. What I've noticed is that whenever I have an ad that crushes or whatever, my like all the cost per click, cost per book call, cost per sale, all that shit's good. And then what happens is my cost per acquisition will still remain the same, right? It was still healthy. But what I've noticed is that less and more people buy only the $47 thing. So initially, a lot of people are buying the $47 thing and the course and everything. And then as time progresses, eventually people just buy the 47. That's like an explanation of like the quality decreasing.
Mm.
And so from there, then I have to create a brand new ad, a brand new something to really change it up. If I just keep duplicating the ad over and over again, it doesn't work. So in my opinion, that's kind of like, again, your metrics, everything looks good from afar, but then your LTV's fucked or your cost per qualified purchaser is fucked. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I've seen over and over again.
No, it does. I just think we need to just throw different things and see how they work.
But yeah, that's the solution. The solution is to do something different, something new, bring a different kind of person in, and then eventually you get a brand new market, a brand new thing, and then you have high quality people, and then eventually you go through all them, and then you're gonna have low quality people in that market solving that particular problem, whether it's a metabolism thing or a hormone.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where the direction we're heading is. We're trying to solve like that one specific problem and market to those people. But I think we've been doing a better job at that as we've progressed. Um, I
This
don't
guy
know.
showed
I
you
got go ahead.
showed you him before. I really like what this guy's doing. Of course, it's like very different than you guys, but like I think what he's doing is ethically correct, morally correct. It is where everything is starting to go. I know this guy does over seven figures. I've personally spoken to him. This guy's doing like fantastic. Only like 26,000 subscribers. But basically, he's like, hey, I'm going to help you lose weight, but I'm not just going to help you lose weight. I'm going to help you lose weight using semaglutide, diet, everything, like the actual right thing to do. So
Mm.
I like this guy. I don't know, something like this could maybe crush on Instagram ads. I don't know. I highly like what it works. The reason it works is obviously it's YouTube. It's a different kind of traffic source, different quality of traffic, but like this guy's crushing it, and I really like his stuff. So I just thought I'd share. I told you about him before. This is where I think I see things moving. I see the industry of weight loss and diet moving here. This is where I think is people that can get ahead of this, right? Like, and I bring this up because I was telling you about 6 months ago, like you're talking about like the blood tests and this and that. I was telling you about that. Like that's what this guy does. So he'll have people hop in, he'll do blood tests with them, and then after he does blood tests, then he prescribes them semaglutide and the diet and everything. And then from there, they lose all this weight. And then he charges me more to do the reverse diet and all this shit. So he has like extremely high LTV.
Mm.
So just thought I'd share that with you with this guy. But yeah. Mason, we went like super off tangent, man.
Yeah, sorry, folks.
Oh, you're good, bro. So I mean, who here is in like a time crunch? Aiden, Righteous, MJ?
No, I'm good.
Penny and I have to dip out in the next like in an hour, but other than that,
Okay, in that case, then let's just really quickly see your questions. How we pick the cities you work for business owners, and if there's are requirements, if you should start closer to where you live before going out. About, I think we have dialed things. Okay, cool. Yeah, so is that it? Very simple.
there's one more. Sorry.
Oh,
I was hoping to get a little bit more clarification on just a few of these like smaller things that I feel like I couldn't find details on in the Google Doc, that were probably just thrown around in the chat, you know, in the
Yeah.
free, earlier, but I just didn't see them.
okay, cool. So I'll just answer this one first. So in terms of the location that you go into, it has nothing to do with like how close or far they are from you. You just go into the market where you feel like the costs are going to be the best. So for example, we did just started off doing painters in Columbus, Ohio about 2 months ago or a month ago. I think, yeah, about a month ago. And it was still super cold. Like we still had like snow a month ago here in Columbus, Ohio. And so what he did is he moved, I forget where, like Memphis,
Tennessee.
Okay, and then right away he closed. Like right away he was getting great results in terms of generating leads. So what you want to do is you want to go into a market where your cost per lead is going to be as good as possible. So it depends on your niche, and again we can do research kind of figure that out. So hopefully painters make sense. Like freezing cold, those you're going to have.
They're not going to be outside. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's literally in my experience, it has the only thing that matters. So when it comes to the hook, you want to make sure you're talking to the right person. So it's like finding the wife. You just got to fucking vet them and make sure that they are the perfect person to do a trial for. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is whatever market you go into, you want to make sure your cost per lead when you run that is going to be as cheap as possible. So you start with that. You start with, okay, out of Memphis, Tennessee or Columbus, Ohio or whatever, where am I going to go that's going to give me the cheapest cost per lead? You go run ads on that location. Works? Okay, cool. Now let's go and let's find the right business owner. We're going to vet them and find out who we want to actually get the leads to. That's pretty much it. And then you just stay there for a while until you fully like saturated all that stuff.
I did think about that too, like going to like, southern warmer states, like we've got a fencing client, but they don't like to work, and they can't really get a lot of work like that in the wintertime. I think I could get them work. They just are babies. My other contractors work through the winter, and I run ads for them, and they get work just fine, even though cost per lead is a little bit higher. But then for something like fencing or like painting, I'm like, I have to hit up like, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Arizona, New Mexico, California, things like that. I'm like, where it's, solid weather year round, and there's not going to be a slower season, maybe. I don't know.
It just depends. Like it depends. It's niche dependent, right? So once you tell me like, okay, this is the niche we're going to, then then from there, it's like there's a particular location that's going to work better. That's going to be ideal.
But like population wise, is there any recommendations? I mean, like I feel like we've been able to do really well with like the Salt Lake area and like south of Salt Lake. There's not that many. I mean, there are, but like relative to like other states and cities,
So
like
it's so I always tell people, I'm like, you know how good your offer is? You post it and people vote with their wallet. I don't care what your friends say. I don't care what your family says. If people don't pay, your offer sucks balls. It is what it is. Same thing when it comes to this is like you can look at locate, and I'm not saying this to be short at all. Like I promise. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter like big location, small location, Salt Lake. I've had result. It's run your ads there and just see what the numbers tell you.
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And so if the number, and it's not just your cost per lead, but your cost per qualified lead as well, right? Just like what me and Mason are talking about. So you go in a location and then what is your cost per lead? What does it show up, pick up, and how good, okay, is this within KPI? Okay, cool, let's go in that market. If not, you don't go in that market. So you just strictly based off of that.
Okay.
I feel like I need a little more clear on a couple of things, such as what's the best lead scrapers you guys have used? Or are you texting the business owners to hook them on your? Okay, so in terms of the best lead scraper, really quick, Righteous, what is it that you're using really quick again?
Yeah, it is called Lead Sniper, Google Maps.
Lead Sniper, Google Maps.
Have you guys tried any other ones? Like I've tried using there's one that's like pretty cheap called Lead Carrot. I feel like that one was kind of lower quality. I guess I haven't tried anything like this though with that, but I don't know. I'm just wondering if you guys have tried any other ones because my thought process is I just want to blitz the shit out of this. Like I just want to call and this is one of my questions too is like, can I just go ham on this? Like, can I call as many people as I want or like text them as much as I want because I'm hungry and I want to grow really bad. And so anyways, I'm
Yeah.
just
It's really I feel like on our last coaching call, was it our last coaching call or the call before, right? Just where Aman showed kind of his process.
It might have been a coaching call before.
Okay.
Where he kind of show his process as far as like how he used Lead Sniper and everything like that.
Yeah. So in my experience, it's just about like efficiency and like workflow. And so what Aman would do is like I forget again, it's in the video. If you so I'll just remind myself to send you something from our coaching call. But he had his thing was like super clean. Like it was just a really quick search. He has like this lead scraper kind of like organize everything and throw it into like an Excel sheet. And then from that Excel sheet, he just like goes through the list and it's a super fast process. So it's like Google search, click a button, it gets poured into Excel. From there, text everybody all at once, and then just see who responds, and then boom, you call. It's a really fast process. So this is another one of those things where I guess what I want you to know is like it's really simple. It's not something you need to overthink. It's not something you no.
and I figured that's what it was. My brain is just a little autistic where it's like I like the step by step every little thing, and anyways, so I knew it was a minor thing. I was just wanting some clarification. So it makes sense. I'm not stressed about it. I just thought I'd ask.
No, dude, please. Like the more you ask, the better. Because if you don't ask, it could be an issue that we overlook, and then that causes a bottleneck. So the fact that you ask is fantastic. I'm coming from a place of like just reassuring you that's not going to be the issue that you're going to run into. It's not going to be the bottleneck. Just so you have that reassurance. So I'll get that over to you. Watch that really quick video. It's super simple. In terms of like just it's really just about workflow. And so you'll see Aman has a beautiful workflow where it goes into Excel sheet. He's got like these check marks and everything where you can easily know who reached out, who he didn't reach out to, who he hooked, who didn't. It's really sexy. And so you'll see that. And then I think you'll be good with that part. And then whether you want to use that scraper or another scraper, it honestly doesn't matter. It's not gonna, there's so many business owners, there's so many fish in the sea that like the scraper that you pick is not going to be the predictor of whether you succeed or not with the method at all.
Yeah. Well, another thing too that I've been tinkering around with, like you guys would be interested in this. I think is like I've had buddies that have paid like other people in like say Pakistan, for example, to build lead scrapers. But like I used ChatGPT to code a custom code for me to help us do our reports automatically. I'm working to get it so that Monday at 8 a.m. it just fires automatically. And yeah, this morning it just like populated all the data from Facebook. And then I'm gonna get it to the point where it just populates all the data in an email, sends it to the client, and then I just write a quick little follow-up after that, or like a quick little video follow-up after that. So each client every week gets, anyways, and I just ChatGPT walked me through how to code that. And anyways, it was the coolest thing. And just
You
that
got
with the lead scraping stuff, I think you could do the same thing with lead scraping where it's like you could maximize, results for time there. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into that, and if I get anything from it, I'll share it with you guys.
Dude, you got to share that with us, the report thing. I would love for you to share that with us when,
It's a game changer, and also I'm getting it. So right now it just does Facebook data, but I'm getting it to where it will do go high level data. So like unique landing page views. Oh, the freaking thumbs up thing. Landing page views and contacts in a specific period of time with like specific tags and stuff like that. And then yeah, when you upload it to the cloud, because right now it's just on my computer, it can just run automatically 8 a.m. every Monday morning, sends an email by itself. It's crazy, guys.
that's insane. Yeah, you gotta please like I'll try to remind you. I don't want to bother you about it, but like if you can
Oh,
like if you can share that in like the free to feel with the guys, like maybe the next one that you like a really quick Loom video, like that, I think the guys would like I know that I'm super excited to see that. I want to see how
yeah.
that works. But yeah, there might be something you can like again, I don't because I haven't seen it, I don't really know exactly what you're talking. I can only use my imagination, but I can see why you're kind of taking that and then putting into like, okay, well, how do I maximize this as well? So I see how you're kind of like putting two and two together. Makes sense.
Yeah, just like going to a ton of different directories because I'm like, there's more than just Google Maps. There's more than just Yellow Page. Anyways. So there's, I don't know, just a thought.
No,
But
no, no. I think that just to like kind of future proof, I feel like that's going to come in handy once you have multiple people.
and I agree. Like, let's not put the cart before the horse. Yeah, I agree.
Like right now, you're going to have your hands full just doing this.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna have your handful just doing a quick Google search, and like you'll have your hands full doing that just to cook the business owner from there. But I can definitely see like once you've got multiple people, like for sure that could help a lot. Um, in terms, are you texting business owner took them through your normal? Everybody's using their normal phone number, and the reason for that is because if you use the go high level number at the bottom, it says click stop or unsubscribe or whatever.
Oh, damn, you're right. Yeah. Oh, fuck that, dude. Fuck that.
So yeah. So that's the workout around right now. I
Like,
don't know exactly what we're gonna do other than that for now, but that like literally having a dedicated iPhone with the blue bubble like seems to be the move right now.
I like it.
I've been seeing a lot of ads for that.
Yeah. I'm gonna just send me something about that as well. Do you create a go high level sub account for each new place when you
Well, oh, really quick. Sorry, back up a little bit. The message. What's the message you guys are sending to them? I saw there was like one line in the Google Doc, and I was just wanting to see, following up with everybody to see if that's like still like if you guys are still using that, if anything else has come up that you guys feel like works better than what is in there at the moment. I think it's in service delivery. Oh, maybe it's.
yeah, this one?
Oh my gosh, I must have missed that. Sorry.
You're good. So just something as simple as this.
Okay, cool. Nah, that's straightforward. But that's still, I mean, righteous. That's still been working for you.
100%. I didn't even know that was right there in the Google. But yeah, I've been using that 100% of the time. Haven't tweaked anything other than, of course, location. But I've been using that. Even double texted and got responses.
Wow.
Yeah, that's another important thing that me and Righteous uncovered is like he'll go through an entire list, and then what we decided to do is like go through that list again before moving on to another location. And if you do that sometimes a second or third time around, you'll have business owners respond where they didn't initially respond. So it's worth doing that before you move on to another location. Um, that. So can I try to hook them up at the same time? Yeah. Okay. So different areas. So you can, I would not recommend it for now because there's just so much, it's not so much to learn, but there's enough to learn. There's enough to learn. There's enough nuances that I wouldn't try to do multiple areas right now if I were you. I would just stick to like, if I were you, I would stick to like find one location, so run ads on a location, see what's good cost per lead, and then from there just work multiple business owners. You can have like 3 business owners that you work and do a trial for them all simultaneously if you'd like. in
That's-
one particular location, right? I just feel like it's much better to like, there's just a lot of nuances with this, is what I'm seeing with the guys, and it's to do, and this could add complexity. And then on top of that, the other benefit I've kind of found is like, if you go into a specific market and you talk to a business owner there and you do a little research, you can really shoot the shit and talk about something like, for example, the Ohio State versus the Buckeyes. And now you get into that kind of culture a little bit, right? And so if you do that with multiple locations, you can't, it's a little bit hard to try to create that personability, if that's even a word. So I think just slow and steady is kind of the theme of everything I'm saying. Slow and steady. And yeah. So that would be my thought regarding that one. So questions on this one?
No, that one is. I don't know.
Um,
Questions.
and then in terms of so Mason, this is a you question, man. Do you create and then this is something you can answer, and then also righteous if you want to chime in as well. I don't, this is witchcraft voodoo to me. Do you create go high level sub accounts for each new place when you start running ads, or have closed the business owner?
I would only do it when you close the business owner.
Okay.
That's what I've been doing so far. So I just once
It's
I
gonna
close,
it's gonna
created.
take way too long. It's gonna take way too long. Like if you guys, this is what I'll say. Like I know we're talking about lead scrapers and stuff along the lines of that, but it's like, I mean, realistically, right? Just like how many messages are you sending out right now to even get a business owner hooked?
Probably like in a day it'd be anywhere from 25 to 30 texts.
Yeah, it's like 25 to 30 texts. Like let's say out of 25 to 30 of those, like you get one business owner, so it's like one a day maybe you guys could do. It's like you don't want to go ahead and create a sub account every single day. Like that's going to be so overwhelming at one point where it's just going to be like it's just not going to be worth it. So the thing is like I don't know what level subscription that you guys are on, but I would say just like wait as long as you can. Get the 297 version, and then when people upgrade, so like I would have your main agency account, so have like your Aiden Anderson account, whatever your trial account is, and then once they pay in full, then I would create the sub account.
Yeah.
Aiden's got the full version, right?
Yeah, I mean even then, dude, like I still would not, I would highly not, I would recommend not to do that. Do not create a sub account for every single person.
Someone,
Well,
someone was telling me that on one of our last calls, and he's not here right now. I could be misunderstanding, but from if I understood him correctly, what he said was he literally will sign somebody onto like the $250 or $500 a week, and he waits until like month one before he does anything. I think he was referring to this.
Hmm.
So he will literally take somebody through all that, and then he'll be like, okay, it's fucking worth my time and energy.
Well, this is my thought process. I guess my thought process is assuming that you organize it based on like location rather than client. Like if I'm giving John leads, it's like that's going to be Phoenix, Arizona. That's not going to be John. That's going to be Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona. John is in parentheses. He's just kind of the business owner we're tacking onto that. But that's also assuming that you can generate successful leads in that area. So that was kind of my thought process is like if I have, a sub account for each, city or so, whatever, like, something along those lines. That was kind of my thought process is like, as long as it works, have the sub account ready to go. But then also like, yeah, I guess that was my thought process. But then like when you make it for them, I guess you guys would give them access though, right? Like to
Maybe.
get it, you'll have like a login as a user kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like that's what Righteous does. Mason, I guess what are your thoughts on like the location thing? Does that like do you see any pros to that or cons to that, or
I mean,
are you talking about doing this before closing or after closing, by the way, Aiden?
Well, and yeah, I guess to put the cart before the horse again, this is to do it before I close the business owner because my thought process is like, look, if I and maybe I am just working with three, in one area and that but like my thought process is like if it's not you, then it's going to be your competitor, buddy. So like, we figure this out. The thumbs up again. Like we figure this out, or like I'm going somewhere else in Phoenix, and the Phoenix area is not going to change. The only thing that's changing is am I giving access to these leads, kind of a thing. Like, who am I giving these leads to? So that's my thought process.
Is that from a place of sales, or is that from a place of like operational complexity? Because those are two different things.
Both.
Okay.
I've
I wouldn't necessarily open something up for sales because he doesn't give a fuck and he doesn't know how
yeah.
accounts and everything works. So that's not going to pressure him. So like what's going to pressure him is maybe your words, but what you do doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well,
Now, if it was a workflow thing, that's what I'm trying to figure. Is like if it's going to speed up your workflow, then I'm all for it. I don't. Yeah.
MJ. Well, I mean, if you have like okay, so let's say you have a super solid area that you could run ads for year round, no issues. Um, I guess like when you create the sub account for the client, are you thinking of putting in the client's like business information into that account?
that's a good point.
Because what happens if you didn't do that? And then you had your brand. So let's say you do window cleaning, right? Or window repair. So you can name your business window repair and then have one in Memphis, have one in this location, one in this location. So it's a copy and paste. It's just location based. And then in the staff section, depending on who's in that space, you can just add them and delete them instead of opening up sub accounts every single time. And then just registering one phone number locally in that area for each of the sub accounts, which would actually probably be really fucking good for you.
That's exactly what my thought process was.
So that's actually not a bad idea. And I think that could work. The only thing that I could see complex is if there's a turnover between like who is going to get the leads in the account. Like you can assign a user based on the leads that are coming in. So let's say you have like a 40-mile radius and it's just like, one lead to this guy, one lead to this guy, one lead to this guy, and then you don't have to worry about it because the leads are automatically going to be split, and it's not like you have to report this person gets this and this person gets this.
That makes
You
the multiple contractors in one area even easier. I didn't even
Yes,
yeah, that's amazing.
that's
Oh,
what I was thinking you could do, but the only thing is like you would have to remember that if there's a turnover, you have to remove that person as a user, and then that person gets all of the leads.
right.
You would just have to remove them underneath my staff, and then that's basically it. So I mean, that potentially could work where you just have locations in different areas, and then you pose yourself as the business owner, and then they go out and just do the contracting and they do all the work. But you don't have to create sub accounts for them. It's just this is my location. Um, and then you'll be fine from there. I think the only thing that you would run into, and I don't even think it's a huge issue, is like putting in a physical address. And I don't even think you need one. So I think that's about it. So
But
if you just have different, like if you have a niche in an area, that's what I would name the sub. So I would Aiden Anderson, power washing Memphis. Aiden Anderson, power washing, Chattanooga, and then you would just do that, and then whatever the area they're from, you just add them into that sub account,
exactly.
and then they get a text message every single time a lead comes through. But then let's say you have two business owners within that area, well then 50% goes to business A, 50% goes to business B, and it's automatically done for you.
Damn, that's efficiency. Well, and to me that like adds to that because like I don't want to like make that a huge point in sales, but I also think it's worth knowing that like, damn, if I don't close these leads or if I'm not hungry, they're gonna go to my competitor down the street. And like to have something to like actually like to have the mechanism to make that a reality is like it's as easy as clicking a button and you're gone and clicking another couple buttons and your competitor is getting all this stuff, you know.
Yeah,
No, and I don't want to like rub that in their face, but I think that just like having the mechanism is part of the leverage in that situation. But
yeah. I
and
mean,
in reality, like the churn too, like if there is churn, it just makes it easier.
yeah. I mean, you can set it as like, um, this person gets higher priority of leads, this person gets lower priority, this person gets none. You can kind of assign how you want it to go as well.
Amazing. I love that too, because there's like I don't know, a hierarchy. I don't know. That's fantastic. I think that's great. I
The
love
only
that.
thing that you'd have to think about is like making sure that the ad spend between the business owners is pretty even.
Even yeah.
Because I'm actually thinking about it further in depth, where it's like, okay, let's say business owner A only pays you 500, business owner B pays you 1,000. Well, then that business owner deserves more of the leads because they're paying more. But now I'm thinking about it, it's like if you just have a fee that they have to pay every single month, then they can kind of compete and share.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that would be interesting too, though, because if you have two people in one area paying a decent amount, it'd be ridiculous not to get leads.
Well, and that would actually, I think that would be better too, because you've got more wiggle room to mess with ads, uh, and make something work. Also, like for if I'm doing conversion ads, that also would give you more room to do like lead form ads to like fill in the gaps a little bit. Because I honestly I don't believe in lead form ads. I'm on is converting me, but like I really am just I've never seen the quality be there. So, but like I do believe in them being like a hey, here's a lead in the meantime while the other campaign is generating a real lead kind of a thing. Anyways, that's happened enough with clients where they're like, hey, we need leads, and I'm like, shit, let me just pull up some Facebook form leads really quick and give them something to chase while these other ones are kicking in. Anyways, that's interesting. Um, I like that.
Yeah. Let's, I I should know like I will say what I would recommend doing is it's again it's gonna sound like the same thing, which is like I would say before we delve into this, I know you and Mason are talking about a lot of cool things, is just like do it the basic way first.
Right. Yeah.
Do it the basic way first, and then what's gonna happen is you will uncover bottlenecks.
Yeah.
That's just what I've seen over and over again. And then from there, we can really revisit this and be like, you know what, this is how it would solve that problem. Here's specifically what we need to do. But I wouldn't jump here.
Yeah, and yeah, no, I get that. But I may like as I start, I think I'm to the point, and I should probably get you guys more information about those niches that I submitted. I do think cabinets is just kind of the way to go for now.
Okay.
But I think like as I start to reach out to businesses, I might start in like Arizona or something, see how it goes, and then I'll probably set it up that way, like Phoenix, or like cabinets, Phoenix, John or something is the sub account name or something like that. But
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just keep me posted. Keep me and Mason posted so we can kind of see it. And then if there's bottlenecks, we'll kind of figure out what we need to do around that. Um, Aside from that, I think that those are the questions that you typed up that I went through. What else is brewing in your mind, Aiden?
you have anything, Tenny?
Yeah, I have a question. Is it beneficial to do some research and like scrape for business leaders or business owners before running ads? Or is it just kind of like a seed that will always be there?
So, I think I know what you're getting at, but I'm just curious, like, what is the why behind the question?
Sorry, what's the what?
The why, like, so, like, why are you asking that question? Like, what do you kind of
Um,
see being an
I,
issue?
I'm wondering if like there's ever unbalance of like not being able to find business owners. Or maybe even if there's like more competitors, like more ads being ran in a certain location.
Yeah, good question. So, what I've come to find, man, is like it's so interesting, but like with this method, man, it's like the issue is not the business owner. Like so often, again, why are you guys here? You guys are here because you guys are like, hey, Kushi, we need help with client acquisition. But what I've come to find is like with this method, getting the business owner is like a walk in the park. Like that's not the hard part. That's the easiest part of all this. It's kind of like I used to shoot sorority recruitment videos back in the day. So I was in rooms full of like 300 women at a time, all the time for months on end. And so you walk in a room, it's the question isn't whether you're going to get laid, it's who do you want to pick? Um, I'm glad we don't have women in here, but that's just the reality. And so it's just who do you pick? And so the same thing applies here. It's like who are you going to work with? So the thing that determines everything is actually going to be the leads in that location. So if you're doing cabinets, it's going to be, well, how hungry are people for cabinets? How many of those can I get? Because if you can get a good amount of them, um, the way I like to think about it this is going to be so misogynistic, but it's like you being able to get leads at a really cheap price that are quality and get it over the business owner is a lot like you being able to get a Lamborghini and nice clothes and everything. If you can do that, well, then the girls will come. So that's the number one thing is like, can I just, so that's why the number one thing you want to do is you want to run ads in a location to see whether you can get leads or not. That's like, okay, I got a Ferrari here. I got a Ferrari. I'm good. Now let me go, show it to a few different women and I'm going to see who wants it the most. So
That makes sense.
that's the easiest way I can kind of think about explain, but that's a really good question. It's asked backwards for sure, Tenny. It's asked backwards. Good question. What else you got for me? Anything else that is top of mind for you, Tenny?
No, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Aiden, anything else you got for me, man?
Do you guys notice much of a difference between like different cities? Like I feel pretty confident in my cabinet ads ability to generate leads, but like, am I gonna be, is my world gonna be rocked if I try to run ads in Seattle or the New York area and then they don't, perform well? I mean, I guess I don't know. Do you guys have any insight to that? Like, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I'm just curious.
So your question is there a big variability from state to state?
Yeah, or city to city. Yeah, exactly.
I think there is. From what I'm seeing, um, I was telling I'm on this, and I think I still believe it, which is so when I'm a huge proponent of like Hormozi's being like, yo, dude, when you create a great offer, it just fucking works. And so he had that, and then I built the 6-figure and 6-week sales funnel. And whenever I launched a 6-figure and 6-week sales funnel, it just works for everybody. It's always worked. It's never not worked. Never. And so up until like literally the free to fee stuff, I've always been like, dude, if you just build a really good offer with a really good average, like it'll just work everywhere for everyone. And anybody that doesn't work for it, it's a them issue, not a your funnel or your ad issue. And then I saw Righteous and Uman do different markets with the exact same ad, and all of a sudden there's different results. And so what I think it is like here's what I think. My theory is that if you have something that is so good, that is brain dead good, like a free video commercial, or hey, 6-week challenge, we give your money, whatever. When you have something like that, that just fucking works. Those are like unicorn offers.
Yeah.
But whenever you have something that's like, hey, get a free estimate, whatever these offers are, I think it's very much it's very much market dependent.
Yeah, that makes sense. And maybe competition too. Like if
Yeah. And when I say the market, like when I say the location, I'm considering all those variables that make up okay, it's like, okay, how affluent are those people? What is the social economic status of them? How many business owners are running ads in that location for those people, right? All those things. So location in general. So whatever what you said, Aiden, yeah. 100%, like that's a factor of it.
Cool, that makes sense. It's so interesting to me. I'm like, this should work anywhere, but also seasonality is a thing with contractors too. But anyways, interesting stuff.
With cabinets though, man, like with what you got going on, dude, I don't think, I mean, if what's your cost per lead right now for your clients?
Dude, it went way down. It went right now with I don't know. We got it below $30 a lead again. Now, and we need to test some new AI videos. That's something we need to show you guys. We've been using these AI selfie videos, and we green screen it over other stuff. This is Tenny's genius idea. And oh my gosh, you guys, like basements were coming in at $8 a lead. And that's conversion ad. That's not like lead forms and things like that. But anyways, we need to test that for the cabinet stuff. Probably bring down the cost per lead again. Right now, probably sitting between like 30 and 40, which is average. That's normal.
Okay. That's cost per lead or cost per like show up to the phone call or whatever.
Good question. That looks yummy, Mason. I am when I talked to the business owner a couple months ago, he said that the basically he's able to get a hold of like 50 or 60% of the leads. I think he's able to get a hold of 50%. He also now though he has dedicated salesmen, so I need to follow up with him about that. And his salesman is just a kick-ass guy, so I need to follow up with him.
So what this means is if we assume so the what you would want to do, man, is you'd want to go into market. And honestly, dude, like don't overthink it. I know I sound like there's some things I'm just like very nonchalant about. I promise you, I'm not like being short. It's just this is there's just no way to really know. So what I would say, where are you guys running ads right now? Like, what's your it's local, obviously. Where are you guys based?
South of Salt Lake City. So like we're
So
running ads in Salt Lake and then just south of Salt Lake.
okay, so when you said that thing of like, hey, do I start local or do I go further away? I'm gonna change my answer, but for a different reason. So if I were you, right now we know that cost per lead is about $40. That means that if you were to go, let's say 100 miles west or north or south or whatever, theoretically, you should, again, if it's a similar socioeconomic status in terms of your neighborhood that you guys run, I would assume it's going to be $40 per lead. And I would assume that you're going to be spending about, the reality is you're going to be spending about $80 per day then to do these trials. Because if you get two leads and one of them picks up and then you get that over to the business owner, you're going to be spending about $80 per day, 8, 16, 24. It's about $240 for basically a sales call.
Mhm.
That's
That's cheap. That's cheap as hell.
Really?
So that's pretty realistic. $240. I'm seeing the guys close 4 out of 5. We'll see with you guys. So about $300 cost per acquisition.
I think we could get the leads cheaper than that too with this new AI stuff that Tenny's doing.
Okay.
So dang, that gives me excited. Except according to freaking the internet, somehow there's like only 5,000 cabinet contractors, which I find hard to believe. Like
Hmm.
I'm calling bullshit on that, but I don't know.
That's fine. I mean, 5,000, I would say. I know Joel Kaplan talks about like 10,000, but then again, he's talking about paid ads
Right.
versus we're not going to have that issue. Um, it's not about the number of business owners, it's about the cost per lead because of what we're doing. It's a little bit different.
That's good.
Yeah, your cost per acquisition when it comes to Joel's way is he's talking about paid ads, so it's how many business owners are there versus here, it's our cost per lead of the service. So
You
That's
could, plus you're texting them, hey, do you do this service? And if they don't, then obviously you're not going to run the ads.
yeah, we
There's
don't.
literally no risk on your side.
That's true. There's not. We don't have the same constraint when it comes to paid ads.
So your cost per acquisition, yeah, I would assume. So main thing is just so the reason I bring this up is you've kind of said you've asked multiple questions which pertain to like, hey, which market should I go to? What location? Where should I start? So short answer, man, is like, dude, let's just cabinets. Let's go 50 miles to 100 miles west of where you are, and let's start there.
Maybe Vegas or something.
Yeah, that's it. And let's just see if your cost per lead is about $40. Awesome, dude. There we go. We start there.
About that. Oh, I'm freaking hyped, you guys. This is gonna be good.
No, good, good. I'm hyped for you guys as well. So is that it then? We're officially starting with cat, or do you want me, or should I be waiting for you in terms of like the niche calculator and all that stuff? Or
I think we're good. I think even if we just do more math, it's just gonna reaffirm that we want to do cabinets.
okay, cool, dude. I'm down with cabinets then. Um,
And if for whatever reason cabinets doesn't work, we literally have a dozen other niches. Like
yeah,
that's hardly an exaggeration. Anyways,
no, you can't fuck this up. It's
yeah.
it's really hard to fuck this up. So, okay. What else is
That's-
top of mind for you, Aiden?
we're good. We'll give some time over to Righteous. Sorry to take up a lot of time, but no, this has been awesome. This is great.
You're
We'll,
good, man.
we'll start setting up stuff and go high level or well, I'll just start scraping leads tomorrow is what I'll do. So
I'll try to send you that video either later today or tomorrow.
yeah, that'd be awesome for Amon.
So you can kind of see his workflow in
Yeah,
terms of like,
I would love to see that. I mean, like I would hit him up too. I just don't want to take time away from what he's doing. But yeah.
no, you're good, man. Tenny, what do you got, man? Anything else? Anything that's top of mind for you? I know Aiden, I'm guessing Aiden's been training on some stuff, catching up on some stuff, ad stuff, direct response. Like, how are you doing, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm just loving learning all this free to fee stuff. I think it's a really cool strategy, and yeah, thank you guys for teaching me cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure, man. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about? I know you asked that question you asked before, but like, is there anything top of mind, anything that you're just curious about, anything you're like, hey man, scratch this itch, I'm thinking about this. Anything top of mind for you at all, man?
I guess is there any good method to do some research into like competition in a certain area?
Other
Like,
than like maybe ads, Facebook ads library or something like that.
when you say competition, are you talking about business owners? Or are you talking about like what exactly are you talking about? Like, and actually like why? Why that question again? Why that question?
Um, Specifically like Facebook ads. And basically why I asked that question is I saw that Jeremy's having this problem in Florida with competition and high CPM and stuff. So I was just wondering if there's maybe a way to find do some research, maybe tools to do research, find a place that has low competition.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah, so in terms of like I mean honest, I feel like Aiden is like you've got a great head on your shoulder. He's probably got more experience than most of the guys in these in our cohort. And so I would trust his judgment in terms of like, okay, let's test this, let's test that, and that in terms of like ad creative, copy, like I think he's got it down pat. Like I could close my eyes and say, hey, Aiden, I need you to test ads for you, and I know he would. So I feel very comfortable with saying that regarding Aiden. In terms of like, so like for me, what I tell the guys, and then this is probably like way, Aiden's way above this in terms of like his skill level, but I always tell people like, okay, go into Facebook ads library and just search up ads for a particular, so like search up cabinets. And then from there, we just like see what kind of ads people are running. And then I always say model those, start there, imitate, and then iterate. And again, that's something that's like Aiden probably already like knows and maybe he does some of that stuff. But to me, it sounds like you and Aiden are innovating. You guys are building brand new types of ads, which the market is not doing. You guys are trying to be innovative, and that's like a whole nother level. So there's like nothing I can say to you. Like you guys are already like fucking like doing fantastic. Now, in terms of like, hey, is there a high competition or low competition in a particular area? Aiden's already said it, which is you just run the ads in that location and just see what the costs are. Um, in case, maybe I'll kind of again, you're pretty new to ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty new.
So what's your understanding of CPM? Like, how do you like, what's your understanding of it?
My understanding is that the higher the CPM, the more there are other people running ads in that specific niche, basically.
Exactly. That's in a nutshell. So it's like if I'm this is like a 360, like a top-down view, there's like if there's like one business owner here, right? So this is actually I'll just write it on my screen here. So in this location,
Just really quick, it wouldn't be niche. It would be targeting the same interests.
so
I
Like a
see.
target audience.
Okay. I see.
there's
So
like
like
this,
for example, just really quick, because I want to make sure he understands this, because this is important. Like, let's say Christmas is around the corner and you're targeting like a lot of Christmas stuff. The CPM is naturally going to be higher, but let's say I'm selling something for weight loss and I'm targeting like home improvement. I'm not necessarily competing with people that are doing different services. It's just the fact that we've targeted the same interests. So like you'll see that some interests in certain areas are very, very hot. Therefore, the CPM is really high. So the reason that Jeremy is having an issue is because he has a med spa, but where is it located? In Florida, right? So a lot of the women in Florida, like they very much care about their reputation. They want to look good. And that's kind of why if you're in Florida and even if you're selling like, a nail salon, you may want to pick some interests that deal with tanning and Lululemon and things along the lines of that. But maybe a natural marketer that's selling clothes is going to want to sell, target Lululemon as well. And that's why that area is so congested, if that makes sense. So it's not necessarily what you're servicing is high, it's what you're targeting.
That makes sense.
if we're here in Alaska and we're a med spa there, let's say there's only one business owner here versus Orlando, Florida, there's like a bunch of these med spas in the same. This is going to be typically a higher CPM. But it's not just the med spa. It's the fact that like let's assume that these are the med spa, these circles, but then let's assume these are the leads. These are the people that live in that area. So Metza is bidding on this. So the price keeps going. It's like, hey, how much are you willing to bid? I'm willing to bid $1. I'm willing to bid $2. I'm willing to bid $5. And so then this costs more. It's like literally an auction, right? So it's an auction. In case you didn't know, it's an auction. So they're all bidding, and then it's going to be handed over to one of these people. And so it's the fact that this person's bidding, this person's bidding, this person, but also we could draw the square here. And the square here is not a medical spa. The square here is, let's say, Mason, because each of these X's represent women that want to feel beautiful. So this med spa is advertising to this person. This med spa is advertising to this person, but so is Mason regarding his weight loss stuff. So we all keep driving the costs up. So what you want to do is you want to come into any old generic location and you just want to run ads to, again, people that want cabinets, but these people are being advertised to by other people that want to, are advertising cabinets, but the other people that would be advertising to these people for whatever reason, like whatever service it is. So what you want to do is you just want to come into a location and just target and just say, okay, what is my cost here? Is it $5 CPM or what? You come into another location, $10, like what? And then you just go into whichever one you're like, okay, it makes sense.
And you'll see as well, there's like the Christmas example, you'll see that generally like in December, the CPM is going to increase and there's nothing you can do about that.
Everybody's going after those people.
Everybody. And that's when everyone starts to advertise because they know Christmas is coming up. So therefore the competition goes up, the bid goes up, more buyers and more money you have to put in there and advertise. So that type of stuff as well.
So as simple as it sounds, it's just go test ads in a particular location. Just go run some ads there. So again, like you said, Aiden, Las Vegas in this radius, let's run some ads for people that want cabinets. Let's see what the numbers are.
Were you asking specifically for like Jeremy, like for him and his situation, or like?
I was kind of using him as an example.
Oh, okay.
What else you got for us, Tenny?
That is it. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Cool,
That was
man.
a good example. That was a good mini lesson.
Yeah.
Glad that helped. Yeah, man, I know Aiden's throwing a lot of stuff at you, man. Just keep your eyes peeled, dude. Do your best to take it in, and like what you're doing right now, man, like being curious. There's nothing better than you can do. So just be curious, dude. Ask these questions. You'll find it more and more fast. I know video and this is like they're completely different, but you're gonna see how they're intertwined and stuff. Yeah, man, the moment you can kind of like help Aiden with some of this stuff, like we're gonna be able to scale this so much further. So just keep learning, man. Keep being curious, dude. Yeah. Anything else, Aiden, Tenny, that I could go over or Mason go over?
Nope. I'll keep you guys posted. I still need to develop more of that auto reporting app. So I'll work on how to give that to other people and have them just input their different things, and then I'll let you know. I don't know. I kind of just work on that in the evenings. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. And yeah.
Cool. Yeah, just keep it posted, man. Just again, don't be shy. I mean, like you've probably noticed, like I don't, I think Righteous, I'm on, they're doing fantastic. They just like share whatever. So this is kind of like almost like a diary, dude. Like whatever. Don't feel like you have to ask for permission or like, hey, should I share? You just fucking share it. So yeah,
That's what we're doing with our AI videos in there too. It will add to the overall cost per lead or like cost per acquisition of the client, just because you do have to pay for the service. But we found that it's lowered the cost per lead a lot. Like it's incredible. So anyways, I'll put that in there sometime.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, if that's everything, I'm going to transition to Righteous. I don't know if you guys have to head out. I think I'm going to maybe do a little bit of review of this. It might be beneficial if you guys have a few minutes. If not, okay. So, Mr. Righteous, I know you got a lot of Mason questions. We'll transition those. Let me just run through this really quick.
So we can keep working.
Awesome.
Yeah, so just like slowing it down for this one of like, he talked, it's like, hey, how did Brenda go? And he like said something, but he didn't really get a chance to vent enough. I felt like that's what I felt like when I heard this. Like, well, talk to me a little, like if you notice, kind of like what do I do with like Tenny and Aiden? Like Tenny asked a question, Aiden asked a question, and then I just kind of stayed there for a little. I'm like, okay, what else, guys? What else? Is there anything else? And then I got like three more questions from Tenny.
Right. Yeah.
People want to talk. People want to have that engaging conversation. So when you do that, like that's my tip to you. Like try to put more of that. Try to get people to talk more, because he wants to talk, man. He wants to talk. He wants to like tell you more about his experience before you delve in. So that's what I mean by this one.
Okay. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds, Coach G, because one of my clients just texted me. So
Yeah.
me like he said that he had never got his I guess the email with the onboarding link for the quick start guy videos.
Okay. This guy?
No, he's good to go. He watched the videos. Jose's ads are launched and he got his first lead like maybe an hour ago. I had sent that over to him, so he's good to go. I'm just this is Jim. He had just texted me. So I'm just gonna
Yeah, just send him. Take your time. I'm gonna just keep listening to this call. Do what you need to do, and then come back, and then we'll go through this.
Got you. All right. My next question is regarding your marketing budget. We can spend as much as you want, but bare minimum, we could get you. Are you?
Yeah, sure.
Got you. Cool. All right. Checking off all the boxes, Jose.
Okay. Depending on okay. How this work? You say depend how much money I want to spend, right?
Yeah. So when it comes to marketing budget, absolutely, you can spend as much as you want. But bare minimum to get like at least 15 qualified leads, we're seeing a marketing budget of $35 per day. Per day. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. My last question: what will be? Is there anything stopping you from getting started today?
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Jose. Man, you're checking off all the boxes for me. I'm not seeing any red flags as to why you're not able to continue.
So I guess like I can talk to you guys while Aiden is coming back. So he kind of just went through this section of like pre-qualifying questions, and he said, are you good with the marketing budget? Because we want to make sure there's no financial objection. If somebody tells you, oh yeah, $50 per day, no problem. I know he's not going to give me a financial objection. Awesome. And then the next thing is like, okay, is there anything stopping from getting started today? And I don't think I'll play it back for you guys, and you guys tell me what you guys think happened.
Then you can work with. I'm not seeing any. No, you're good. Yeah. You from getting started hours per day. Per day. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. My last question: what will be? Is there anything stopping you from getting started today?
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Jose. Man, you're checking off all the boxes for me. I'm not seeing any red flags as to why you're not able to continue and work with us and crush it. Just my last question. For my qualifying question: is anything stopping you from getting started today?
Yeah, sure.
You said there is something stopping you, or no?
No. I mean, I would like to continue with this.
Gotcha. All right. Cool.
Okay, so understand, so the purpose of question 6 is I don't want to get a financial objection. The purpose of question 7 is I don't want to get an objection of like, oh, this all sounds good, but like not today. Let me get back to you. Let me figure it out, and then I'll get back to you. Like, so do you feel like there was anything wrong with question, like how Righteous handled what he handled? Is there anything you would have done different?
I might have been like, so you're good if like after this call I turn this on right the frick now kind of a thing. I don't know. He very casually just kind of like waved it off like yeah. Like
Yep.
but it's like I don't know that he like processed
Yes.
like, oh shit, you meant like yeah, like today, like now, ahorita.
Yeah. Righteous, did you catch that? Did you kind of see what we're talking about?
I caught the tail end of that. My Wi-Fi like restarted on me or something like that, so I got kicked out. But you were talking about
We're
asking
talking
about like started today. Just like diving deeper into that.
Yeah, so I was explaining how the purpose of question 6 is, hey, can you afford to spend 30 to 50? And the reason we do that is a trick question to know whether we're going to have a financial objection or not. The purpose of question 7 is if we say, hey, is there anything stopping you? What is the purpose of that question? Pop quiz, Righteous.
Oh, so that last question, anything stopping you from getting started today is just to kill the objection of them talking about, oh, I want to see if I can close first and get back to you, or like an email, or send you an email, like just trying to drill it in their head, we can move forward, after this call type thing. Am I getting that right?
Those are three different objections. So,
Oh.
so the objection of um I want to get some results and then get back to you, that has nothing to do with getting started today. That is, if somebody says that to you, it's an uncertainty doubt objection. They're uncertain that this works. They have doubts that this works. This is real. I mean, I guess I understand where you're coming from. I guess it kind of pertains to that actually. This is really more for a thing of, this is not necessarily, that's uncertainty doubt, which is, I don't know if this is going to work. Then the objection of, this all sounds good, but let me get back to you in a week. Let's start in a week, or let's start in a month, or let me just send me an email and then let me figure this out and then I'll get back to you. So this is to prevent the objection of like, oh, let's do this later. This all sounds good, but let's do it later. So based off of that, Aiden was like, what, can you repeat what you said, Aiden? Because I think Aiden picked up on something that I want you to do a little bit of a better job picking up on.
Basically, like, you were like, hey, like, you were trying to say, like, hey, are you ready to move on this today? And the way that I don't know, I just noticed he was like, yeah, like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he wasn't like, yes, I'm ready to start taking leads today after we hang up the phone. This is all starting, like, this is happening right now, kind of a thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, my last question makes sense per day. 10 qualified leads, we're seeing the market, but bare hours. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, my last question, what would be, is there anything stopping you from
Even that, like when he was like, hey, it's going to cost you this per day. And then he's like, yeah. You got, like, he's not fully in. He's like, I need him, like, I want him to pay more attention. I want him to be yeah. I feel like this one was okay because you kind of see his eyes look up and you kind of see him thinking about it.
getting started? All right, my last question makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
$35 per day, per day.
So watch his eyes.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, my last question, what would
So I guess that one's okay.
be, is there anything stopping you from getting started today?
Give me a second.
Yeah. Boxes for me. I'm not seeing any red flags as to why you're not able to continue and work with us and crush it. Just my last question. For my qualifying question, is anything stopping you from getting started today?
Yeah, sure.
You said there is something stopping you, or no?
No, I mean, I'd like to continue with this.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
See that?
Oh. It almost like he was like, let's continue with the presentation, not like, let's get going right the frick now kind of a thing. He just wanted to get through the presentation. I wonder almost if you like add something to the end of that sentence of that question, like, is there anything that's stopping you from getting started today? Like, if I were to turn on the ads at the end of this phone call, I don't know what the process is after this, but basically, yeah, like if I'm able to turn on the ads after this phone call, like, are we able to get going or get started or something? I don't know. Like, are you okay to handle that?
That's fantastic. Exactly. Like Aiden's like pretty much taking the words out of my mouth, where it's like when he asked that question of, like, when he said that thing of like, yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll, he means the sales presentation. He doesn't mean like continuing in a relationship with you after you close him. And so Aiden was able to pick up on that. Were you able to pick up on that, Righteous?
Not up until y'all just said something. So so yeah. But now I can see it now for sure though.
So like you got to really pay attention, bro. And then if they don't give you the response, what Aiden's saying is the right thing, which is you drill them even further to make sure that they understand. So for me, if I come into like my qualifying questions, where is it? Okay. So I say in a different way. I say, can you allocate? So I'm saying the same thing, which is, can you allocate 2 to 3 hours per day for the next 30 days starting this upcoming Monday? So I'm very specific. So I want to know, hey, there's no, you don't have to go on a trip or anything like that. And then depending on their answer, I'll drill them even further. So I do literally what Aiden says. Like, so you don't have, so I'll like role play with you. So, Righteous, my next question to you is, can you allocate 2 to 3 hours per day for the next 30 days? Again, starting literally on Monday. So we, hit the ground running. We're able to rock and roll Monday. Is that something you're able to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So in other words, you don't have any like big life coming events. Like you don't have like a production like next week or something. You're gonna be gone for like 2 weeks or anything like that. And then
Nope.
typically you're gonna say no, or you might say something like, I have this thing, but it's not for another 2 months. Oh, it's not for 2 months. So it's 2 months. Is it like so February 2nd to the 5th, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So it's just like a weekend you're gonna be gone, and then afterwards you'll be back. Okay. All right, cool, man. Then I think you'll be okay. You'll be fine. You don't have anything busy right now that's keeping you busy, like college, or anything like that. Like you're able to rock and roll, you like a 9 to 5, and you're gonna be available Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's when we do our coaching calls. Yeah. So this is the level of depth I'm going so that I don't have the objection I get. This is slightly different than what you guys are doing, but it kind of sort of accomplishes the same thing of like, hey, I don't want to hear, hey, I need to come back to you after 3 months because I got to go do this thing and then I'll be ready for a coaching. Again, I do a coaching program. You guys do a different offer. That's why this applies to me. I need people, I cannot, for me, the reason I have this Monday thing here is like, if people say, oh, this all sounds good, but I can't attend Mondays at 6 p.m., I can only do Tuesday, whatever. That's why my questions are a little bit different than yours. But the whatever Aiden is getting at, like hopefully that makes sense to you, Aiden. I'm sorry, Righteous.
No, that makes 100% sense. Just going deeper in the question. So, you have one question like how I do. And if they answer whatever response like a yes, then, just have another question just to kind of dive deeper. That way they get a better understanding.
And I would say that the skill here to learn is reading between the lines. Is when they say something, it is what they say, it is how they say, and it is their body language for you to really decipher what they're actually meaning. And if they are not telling you exactly what you need to know and hear, you go harder. You drill them in order to make sure that they are indeed saying what you need them to say if you have any doubts. And so for me, what I kind of hear you say over and over again, it's okay, is like you just ask a question and you get a surface level thing, you just keep going instead of like reading in between the lines. That's kind of what I'm seeing. So it's like a thing of like just reading them a little bit better.
Okay. That makes sense.
Step one is, and I don't know how to teach that other than like just doing a lot of calls and reading between the lines. You just got to have a lot of conversation to be able to read people. So that's step one. Step two is then drill people. So it's not about drilling people and asking more questions. It's about just understanding what their actual intention is. That's the most important thing. And then you ask questions for clarification if you need to.
This takes me back to those tattoo calls that you guys would watch. You guys would be like, do this and this. And I'm like, I'm so focused on doing the script. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. Like hindsight is always 2020, but
Yeah, it's a lot of reps, man. A lot of reps.
is it worth it to change that question to be more like yours, Coach Sheik? Like if we were to change our script to be like, okay, I can click a button. Like literally, I would probably say this. Like I can click a button right now that turns these ads on. Are we able to take care of the deposit? Are you able to like, are A, B, and C, and I can click the button and turn this on after we hang up, kind of a thing. I don't know, or something like that.
Yes, I love it. I just wouldn't say deposit.
Yeah, however you guys say it, yeah.
So if I were you, and again, if you want to write this one down or something, Aiden or Righteous, so what is your question? Um, so now, my last question for you, John, is there anything stopping you? Is there anything that's stopping us from working together or launching after our conversation today? In other words, you and I talk this out. I show you the strategy. Everything sounds good to you. Can I just click a button, turn the ads on, and then boom, you got leads coming in. We're doing estimates tomorrow. Is that possible to do? Or is there something that would get in the way of that? John says no. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure, and the reason for that, as you know, is we generate these leads and they stay hot for only like 5-10 minutes. So I just want to make sure that I'm talking to somebody that's ready to rock and roll right now. So does that answer your question, Aiden? That like that's a way I would approach that. So good stuff. Good stuff. So I'll kind of just go in order, really quick. I'll ask you stuff. So we talked about Brenda.
Going in the next hour or so.
Yeah, he basically told you right from the get-go he's going to be a close.
Let me get started. Go ahead. I'll share my screen with you. Cool. In that case,
Or
okay. So
I need to check my schedule. Yes.
cool. Perfect.
And then I have another one. I need to check my schedule.
Okay, yeah. So this one he used, this is kind of, again, this is high. I get so nuanced. I know it can be a little bit overwhelming, but when I was reading his body language, when you were like, yo, do you have anything else going on? He's like, I got an estimate about 3, about 5. What I would have done, again, it's just to clarify, it's like, again, it's important you understand this. It's like I would have said something like, cool. So aside from the estimates down there, here at 3 or 5 p.m., like, do you have anything going on here, like immediately after our conversation, like here within an hour or so? And the reason I'm asking is I just want to be able to pace this conversation. So again, it's just getting clarity because he's talking about 3 to 5 p.m., but you don't know what's going on here in an hour. He thinks you're just talking about estimates because of the word that you use was, hey, do you have any other estimates today? He doesn't know that what you're trying to ask him is like, yo, you got shit to do or no? He wasn't clear that he doesn't know that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Got you.
Person in Memphis is committed to add another 30K from the one purpose. Quick on these calls. But I'll show you talk about Google's our strategy and how I'm
Yeah. So this is another thing is at
person
6:27
in Memphis.
is he talks about like, hey, so I got a website, but I don't know, whatever. Like the moment he says that, if I were you, Righteous, that right there is like intent of like curiosity. It's like, oh, this is a pain point of mine. This is something I'm struggling with. This is something I'm curious about. And so let's like just listen to it.
How that works?
Like a
You know what?
So you're starting the sales call.
You work on the webpage, right?
So think about this, right? The psychology of this. You're doing your thing, you're about to transition, and then he asks you a question out of nowhere.
You work on the webpage, right?
You said what now?
You work on the webpage,
Yeah, like websites?
websites.
Yeah, absolutely. I do websites as well.
Okay.
So
Because I have one.
So you're like, yeah, I do work on websites. If I was you, he's not he like think about why he brought that up. He brought that because that's a concern of his. That's a selling point that he's giving you something to sell him on. He's straight up telling you like, yo, this is important to me. And so you went into like, oh yeah, it's something I do. If I were you, I would have got him to talk more. Like, okay, yeah, why do you ask?
Got you.
That's a huge upsell, by the way. Like you can charge a lot of money for websites. I don't know what experience you have, but like,
Yeah. Well, when it comes to like like sites, I mean, I can, I'm still kind of learning all the sites and stuff, but I think what he was getting ready to go into was the Google stuff. Because he said that he has a partner that he works closely with that does roofing. And on our hook call, well, no, one of our warm handoff calls, he was like, "Yeah, my partner that I work with, he gives me jobs that that are looking for painting contracts, and if anybody needs stuff done with roofing, I give it to him." So they kind of work together. So I felt like he was trying to go down that route to see what I can do there, and I just didn't want to shoot myself in the foot because I don't know much about like Google and as far as getting them ranked and everything like that. I could say like the Google My Business stuff, but I was like, I'm just trying to take it one step at a time. So, but I do get what you're saying as far as like just asking him why he bought that up would have made him spill the beans if I asked him that.
Yeah.
So I've been opportunity there for sure.
So Aiden, that like what he's saying, I'm about to play it and you'll see that's the route he's going. He's going to like the traffic and Google ads and stuff like that. But the key here is like whenever people like randomly bring shit like this up, dude, that's fucking bro. That's like fucking that
Yeah.
you
I
hop
felt
on.
like I really wanted to, but I'm like, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot if because one, like even on the hook call, I'm telling people that I rank my sites on Google, and I just didn't want to like get into the rabbit hole of pulling Google up because my site's not on Google. I'm using Facebook ads, and I just didn't want to like screw everything up. So I'm like, just stay where you're at. Tell them you can help them.
well,
And
in that case too, you can. I'm sure. Maybe you'll do this, but like in the tape, but like you can almost use that as a way to hype them up for what you've got prepared instead. You're like, dude, you don't even need a website, bro. Like you literally you're gonna forget about your website ever that even existed,
I don't know that I would. I understand what you're getting at, Aiden. Good, but I wouldn't necessarily go there right then and there. Here's what I would do. Because here's the thing. If I were to tell you, hey, you don't need this, you don't need that, you may or may not believe me. If, however, I can use logic and be like, okay, well, what happens with this? What happens with this? What happens with this? So therefore, you don't actually maybe need it, do you?
Right. You need to validate it first. You don't just like shove it out of the way and make them feel like they're dumb or something, or like that, or they'll resent you if they don't feel dumb. They'll be like, actually, I do need that. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So but I think we're on the same page. It's like I would get him the point is step one is you gotta get him to talk. Step two is then you figure out how to sell yourself with that. So it's like, oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Wait till I share this with you. Just hold, make sure you have something to write on, bro. I'm gonna blow your fucking mind with this. Right?
On Google, I don't know how that works.
Like a website on Google.
I don't know how can I do it to the homeowners to find me.
How can they find you on Google?
Yeah.
So
But if we're gonna work together, I have no problem. If I have enough job, that's fine. That's cool.
yeah, I'll show you our strategy and how I'm generating the leads. We can talk about Google as well because Google is another strategy. But I'll show you what I'm doing. But just really quick on these calls, the purpose.
So see what he's doing? He's like, you lost his attention. He was so fucking locked in. He was trying to tell you like his heart, his soul, everything. And you're like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna show you this other thing though, real quick.
Well, and that's a super easy tie-in too, because literally he said exactly what was on his mind. He's like, I want people to find me. And so you're like, well, we will help people find you.
Yeah.
They're just like maybe a little bit different, but like, no, dude, I hear what you're saying. But anyways, so that, I mean, that helps.
Yeah.
When
The main takeaway is whenever somebody comes to you, bro, and the moment they start talking, oh, you listen, bro. You listen. And you try to give you let me see a good example. I don't know how I come up with these ideas. They're always like very misogynistic or so here's another one of them. So I come to you and I say, dude, I'm having some trouble with the lady. And you're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I feel a little bit insecure saying this, but like, it's sometimes it's hard to have an erection. Right. And then from there, you can delve deeper, like, oh, I guess like talk to me about, I guess like, are you in your head? Is it like a specific woman? Is this new dates? And then you get me to talk more and more. It's like I feel uncomfortable talking about it. But then you're so good at what you're doing, you get me so comfortable about it. And then you go in with the fucking close, which is, all right, man. So thank you for sharing all that with me. I really appreciate you being vulnerable. The good news I have for you is it's a really simple fix. It's really as simple as, you take a pill and then in 10 minutes, like all that goes away. But hold your horses. I'm gonna explain that here in a little bit. Let me just kind of get through this really quick and then I'll circle back to that, okay? See what I'm doing there? That's the idea. So the moment somebody opens up, you just keep asking questions, and then you have to kind of bait them to keep listening. That's what I'm doing. I'm baiting them to say, "Oh, I want to hear about the pill." It's so fucking important to them. So if I were in your shoes, right, just what I would have said is, got it, listen a little bit more. Oh, so you're looking for traffic. So you're trying to get more searches. I guess like why is that important to you? Da da da. Okay, cool. So yeah, I completely understand exactly what you're looking for. That I mean, that is fundamentally what we're doing for you. So it's funny that you brought that up. I'm just gonna show you visually how we actually do it. So I think this will be really cool for you, kind of like look behind the curtain and see how this is all done in terms of like getting that traffic, getting those people to know you. But give me a second, we'll circle back to that.
Got you. Yeah, yeah. That's what I was trying to say. But put it in my words. But I got what you're doing though, because you dive deep. You get them to spill everything about what they're telling you, and then you get them excited. And you're like, oh, definitely we can dive into that. Let me show you this one thing really quick. It'll be cool type thing. So that would have been a much smoother transition for sure than what I did.
But no. I also get like, hey, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. I get it as well. As long as you understand this high level principle, that's all that really matters. Is the moment as soon as somebody talks, you listen, you get them to talk more, get them to blabber their guts out, and then tell them you have something for them, and then kind of keep them waiting for you to pitch and share more information regarding that. They're going to be when you do that. Think about it also. It's like psychological warfare. If I'm coming to you and I've got ED and I'm super embarrassed, I can't really tell anybody. The one doctor that I talk to, I feel comfortable, and you say you have a solution for me, bro. I'm going to listen to the rest of your fucking sales presentation.
Right.
So you
Right.
kind of
Yeah, we've got the medicine for your thing. Another thing too, I don't know, like I have or had a hard time like not just thinking about the script too on a call. Like that's something that I really struggled with, and I might still now. I guess it's been a minute since I've been on like a sales call. I've gotten a lot better, I feel like, in my sales, but like it's only as after like a year or two of just relentless sales stuff. It's like now I'm able to like kind of get into the principles, but it really is hard. I don't know if you struggle with this, Righteous, but like I feel like this is reminding me a lot of the calls that I had with tattoo artists back in the day, like a couple years ago when I was doing this with Koshik and Mason for tattoo artists or something similar with tattoo artists. And it was like, I was just like so in my head about the script that I wasn't listening and hearing, and I wasn't sure where to go. Even if I tried, I like wasn't sure where to go from there. And it just ended up, I don't know. It just takes practice and time, just repetition.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely struggle with that part, especially on like the sales call since it's a much longer call. I I want to say what Coach Sheik is saying, like what he has in the script for the sales call, but it's like the last thing I want to do is have them seeing me look at a screen. So I'll say what's in front of me. Because I know that, those are all like I'm not gonna go wrong if I just follow what's in front of me, but still like as far as like the script, like definitely I struggle with that a bit in there, but it just like you said, it just take more reps, you start to pick up more. Because on the like on the what the hook calls, I feel like I feel like give me a couple weeks and I probably won't even have to look at the script on the hook call. But then again, it is easier to do that one because no, I'm not they can't see me, so I can just look at the script and just kind of go.
It's a balance, man. Like you start off with the script, you're robotic, but then the idea is you're constantly like the trick is to understand the psychology. And you understand the psychology by doing so many reps and then paying attention to their behavior. So it's like, okay, here's the script. Let me go ahead and test that out and let's see what emotional reaction that evokes. Oh, I understand why the script does that now. So a lot of it's, dude, it's like fucking reading people, bro. That's like so much of what it is.
I like how you put that. Like you put the script, put it out there, see what kind of reaction you get, so you know where you need to go, what you need to say, or even that way you can understand if they even picked up on what you just said. Like you were saying, his eyes rolled up and he's looking all over the place, so we got to pick up on those things for sure.
I think I always tell people, I'm like, there's three parts to sales. I'm gonna maybe fuck this up, but like one part is like the game of chess, which is like if I tactically say this, then they'll tactically say that, and then this and that, which is like literally what we just did here. It's like this is the game of chess. Which is, hey, can you do this? And the reason I'm doing this is I don't want them to back out of it. So it's a checkmate move. The other part of it is how you say shit. So we always say that with women. It's like it's not about what you say, but it's how you say it. You can say dumb as shit, but if you say it the right way, they'll be wet. Right? So one thing is the game of chess, which is like strategically knowing what to say, why to say it. The second part is your fucking energy. And then the third part, and this is the part I see with you, Righteous, is reading them. Those are the three kind of tenets of sales. Because even if your fucking script, you don't even like your script's completely fucked up. If you can at least read the body language and understand what they're actually saying between the lines and everything, you can progress the conversation, you can move it forward. So those are kind of the three elements. And for you, the big one to work on, Righteous, I'm noticing is just like reading body language. Be proactive about that, right? That's the thing for you. Everybody's got a different thing to work on in terms of sales. For you, that's what it is. Like reading the body language, slowing things down.
About what I just said before? Did that make sense to you? Or do you have any questions about what I? No, you're good. You're good.
So for this one, it's a small little thing, but like I like to roll this all up into one sentence.
I need to learn. Okay, okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Did that make sense to you? Or do you have any questions about what I just said before, as far as the qualifying questions? Okay. My next set of questions I like to ask are discovery questions, and these questions just help me understand your goal and what you're looking to accomplish, so that I can align my actions with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Got you. All right. So my next question is, are you interested in proceeding with the outline process to discover if this makes sense to work closely together?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I'll go ahead and
I'll pass on this one. I don't think it's worth spending too much time talking about.
About what I just said before, as far as the qualifying question.
Okay, this is the big one. So
yes.
Okay.
So before you get into the qualifying questions, you did a fantastic job in terms of like, oh, I don't see any red flags. You did a little bit prematurely. You want to go through all 7 questions, and then you want to kind of sit back and be like, okay, yeah, you passed the test. That's the energy you give people. it's kind of like because you went into this pre-qual. So step one, you say, hey, can I ask you some pre-qualifying questions? They say yeah. And then you go into before you go into the pre-qualified question, you go, okay, so Jose, before I delve into these, I just want to kind of give you a heads up, man. In my experience, these 7 questions, they're if people answer with flying colors, man, like it's usually a good fit. If they don't answer with flying colors, then it's probably not a good fit. But if it is a good fit, like I'll let you know. And honestly, the ball will be in your court, right? So if you just like pass green light, green light, green light, honestly, the ball will be in your court. You decide what you want to do from here. There won't be any reason why you can't move forward. But if it's a red flag, like I said, man, I'll tell you, I'll be very cautious. That, hey, man, I don't know that this is a good fit. Does that make sense, Jose? He says, yeah, that sounds good. Cool, man. So in terms of my qualifying question, man, I got just 7 for you, like I said here. The very first one is this: are you willing to drive out about 20 to 25 miles out for an estimate? Like, is that like a comfortable radius for you? Because that's typically what we're running ads for. Boom. Go through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is there anything stopping you? Is there anything that would stop you from today? So in other words, like, Jose, if you and I have this conversation, you like the whole way we do everything, you say you want to rock and roll, man, I can click a button and then we can get rock and rolling, get you your first lead tomorrow, maybe get an estimate tomorrow. Is that something that you can do, or is there something that would get in the way of that? No, everything's good. Okay, cool. All right. Well, Jose, we'll transition the conversation, but I just want you to remember how I said like the green lights and everything. Dude, honestly, man, like you've passed everything with flying colors. Like every step one, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So honestly, I don't see any reason for us to not be able to work together. But honestly, at the end of the day, the ball is going to be in your court, so you can decide what you want to do from there. But I just want to at least like give you a heads up. Does that make sense? Jose? Jose says yeah. So does that make sense? Righteous? Like it's about you do the green flag before delving in, and then afterwards, because what you're telling them is like, yo, bro, like you'd be like, there's like I have a really good offer for you. You and I are a good fit. You're going to be silly to say no to this. That's kind of what I'm doing here.
I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. So do you do that before and after the qual?
Yeah. So I tell them beforehand, like, yo, if you do all these questions, great. Like, if you answer all these questions the right way, we're probably a good fit. And then obviously they always answer the questions the right way. And then when I get to the end, I'm just reaffirming, like, yo, bro, like it's a good fit. And I'm kind of like the energy I'm kind of giving people is like, yo, it's a good fit. Like I would be happy to work with you. I don't see any problems, but like, bro, like you let me know. If you got a problem with me, it's fine. But like, balls in your court. I'm kind of giving you autonomy. That's kind of the big thing I like to do with people. I give them autonomy. It's like the power is yours, bro. The power, you have the power, you have the control.
I'm just writing that down. No, that makes sense.
And can you take on 30 to 50 new leads per month?
Yeah, any leads, that's fine. One word, I can hire some more guys. I have no problem with that.
Awesome. My next question, if a lead comes at a reasonable time of day, like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., will you on average be able to call them within 5 minutes? And the reason I ask this question here is because when a lead hops into our funnel, that's what time frame we're typically reaching out to the lead within 5 minutes because they're hot right then and there.
So you could.
On your marketing budget, we can spend as much as you want, but bare minimum that we need to get our clients ROI is a marketing budget of $35 a day. We could get you 15 qualified leads per month, just like the last 3 that we gave you. Are you able to spend about $35 per day bare minimum?
Yeah, sure.
Got you.
Okay, so all I'm saying for
Your marketing budget
here is like this is just like a thing just for it's not even like really a sales thing, but like it's very interesting how this guy was like, yeah, man, so I spend money with like I think it was like Craigslist or Thumbtack or something, right? Angie's List, that's what it was. And then we were like, oh, okay, how's that going for you? You did great. Like the fact that you're asking those questions a little deeper is great. And then the way he responded was like he's like, yeah, I spend money. Sometimes leads come in. I don't know, make sale. I don't know. It was very much like I'm like, dude, you even know what your KPIs and your numbers are? Like, you're being a shitty business owner. Like 99.9% of businesses, they don't know their fucking numbers. But here's the part that blew my mind.
We can.
How long has he been doing Angie's List, Righteous?
What, like 7, 10 years? Something crazy.
10 years, bro. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody look at Aiden's face. If somebody's doing Angie's List for 10 years, that's like somebody's running Facebook ads with you for 10 years. It's not a matter of if it works. That shit motherfucking works. Nobody's spending 10 years with some shit if it doesn't work. And so why is this so crucial? it can go for you, it can go against you. Because if he's got something, it's like, hey, you got this girl you've been going steady with, do you like her? I don't know if I like her or not. How long have you been together? 10 years? The fuck you mean you don't like her? What? Um, and so it's like now you got to say like, why are you more attractive than the girl that he's got? Or you got to position as like, hey, you got that girl and you can have this girl at the same time. That's like what you have to do. So
Got you.
so this is like a lot of intel, like 10 years with the same company. And then, you know, if again, I don't know why you didn't drill and go deeper into that. Maybe you had your reasons, but like this is just what I'm saying is like this is important. Like that's the type of information that's super crucial to know and understand why.
Spend as much as you want, but bare minimum that we need to get our clients ROI is a marketing budget of $35 a day. If we could get you 15 qualified leads per month, just like the last 3 that we gave you, are you able to spend about $35 per day bare minimum?
Yeah, sure.
Got you. Cool. All right.
Yeah, I like the way he said that. Like, so for me, the way he said it, yeah, sure. That tells me like no financial objection. Not gonna get one. That's chump change for him.
And of all the boxes, Jose,
Okay. Depending on
work with us and crush it. Just my last question. For my qualifying question is any.
So that's where we left off is question number 7. So yeah, just a little bit. When I do these can be overwhelming. Mason hates it when I do these. Says I get too many comments. I go too in depth. And so what I've tried to do is I try to give people like 4 big takeaways, 4 big things to work on. Because otherwise it's gonna be overwhelming. And so obviously I haven't gone through the whole thing, but like I would say my big thing to you is gonna be slow it down and pay attention to their body language and get them to talk more. I think that was a couple of different things, but it's kind of in the same vein. Pay attention to their body language, really read between the lines, and then try to get them to talk more and slow it down.
Got you.
That would be
Will
my
do.
for this one.
I wrote that down. I like what you said. When somebody comes to you, and starts talking, you listen. So I wrote that down. So if they come to me, they start talking, listen. Just,
Either they talk on their own or you probe them to get them to talk. One of the two, but you need them to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm getting prepared because I do have a sales call tomorrow at 9:30. So
Cool. Well, hey man, I mean, bro, like your numbers are your numbers are what 4 for 5. So it's, like I'm being like super nitpicky and giving you all this stuff. It's gonna help. It's only gonna help you, but you're already 4 for 5, right? So I think that says a lot in itself. Okay. Righteous. Do you have questions for me, bro, or is it just Mason question that you have right now?
I guess I do still basing questions, but it's not really a question for real. I just wanted your input on it. I had a business owner, the guy that I have a sales call with tomorrow, right? We did the 3 warm handoffs, and like literally on the very first one, I connected him to the lead, and he's like, he introduced himself, he sounded professional, then he's like, hey, can I send you a link to my booking site? And I'm just like, oh shit, this isn't gonna go too good. And I thought that he was only doing that because he was like, when I called him the first time on the first warm handoff, he was like, he had stuff in his hand, he was a little busy. But he did it all 3 times. Like usually people will, they'll talk to him, they'll get their address, and they'll set the time themselves when they go out. But this dude is like, hey, is it cool if I just send you a link to my booking site? All 3 times. Oh yeah, all 3 times the lead said yes, like they had no issues.
Did they
But
book?
I think he booked 1. So he may have booked 1. So I'm like, okay, all right. But other than that, like each time I'm doing the handoff, he's like, hey man, I think this is gonna work pretty well, man. I like how everything is going so far. So
Okay.
I just wanted, like, I didn't know if that was a bad thing because like I kind of hyped him up on a warm handoff. Like after I got back on the call, I'm like, hey man, you did a great job on that one. I'll forward the info over to you, but I didn't know if I was be like, hey, look, on these calls, I need you to actually, get their information, like not just get their information, but I just need you to, book the estimate over the phone. I don't need you to direct because I don't know if they'll do it or not, right? But that was the only thing I probably have for you. But
How many business owners have you done trials for so far?
That's a good question. I've done trials for trying to ask me that one too fast. At least, let me see right here.
You've probably done at least, well, you've done five, right? Because you closed 4 out of 5, which means you must have
At
done
least
five.
5. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, so he would have been the sixth. I think it could be a one-off situation where you don't even need to change your sales process, say change anything, bro. But I would say if you see this happen again, you might want to change up your script where you do say that. Does
Okay.
that make sense? It's like it's definitely like not a good thing, right? Because there's another step in the funnel and people drop off in the funnel. So for sure. If I were in your shoes, what I would say is you gotta tread carefully on your sales calls with him tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sales call them tomorrow.
Okay. So if I were you, you might want to go into your qualification question. You might want to type in there, follow proven sales process. And so he's obviously like, hey, so last question, one of my questions for you is, hey, are you willing to follow a proven sales process for us? We've got a dialed in script in terms of working the leads, in terms of getting them booked in and then closing the deal. In terms of you doing the sales thing, I know you got in the bag, you've been doing this for a few years, but in terms of like getting the lead and working the lead, we do have a specific process. We use automations, text, stuff like that. Is that something you're open to? He's obviously gonna say yeah to that. And then from there, you can take a moment to just be like, okay, cool. So, John, I just want to take a moment, man. Like, I want to bring this up from our trial. I noticed with the first trial, what you did is you had them text you, and then you did the second and third time. I didn't say anything after the first one because I thought maybe it's just a one-off, but then I noticed you did it with the second and third. It's important that you know that you're going to have a much higher success rate if you book them right then and there, as opposed to sending a link, because sometimes people will fall through. So that's part of our required sales process. If you don't do that, again, the results just they don't come close to what they could be. Is that something you're cool with? Is that something you're okay with? Obviously, you can say yes to that. Boom. Now you've done it. You've nipped it in the butt.
Okay.
When you
Now that
assuming you close him, I wouldn't just stop there. On your onboarding, you need to spend some time there. So on your onboarding, you go into, hey, so in terms of working leads and everything, do you remember our conversation from Tuesday? Do you remember what we talked about in terms of like once a lead hops in? Do you remember what I said to you? You have to do in order to have the highest chance of booking them in. And then he's gonna kind of talk, I think, da 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 da, and then you can drill him again.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do if I were you.
Okay. Because he's like real big on AI, and he was like, man, like on the initial like a hook call, he was like, yeah, you can just text the lead over, man, or I'll send you my site and you can put the lead in there. And I was like, no, no, like on the first couple leads, I like to do a warm handoff, that that way we know that you're handling the leads to our standard. So he was cool with doing that, but yeah, I see why drilling that on the onboard on the sales call and the onboard that would be important, because if I was to close them and didn't drill on it, I could just launch them and then he's getting leads and he's thinking that he can just take the lead from the CRM and just put it on his website. I'm like, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? You have to call these people. So I
No,
got you.
no, you did good picking up on that. You did good. Your gut instinct was right for sure. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I wanted to say something on the warm that very first warm handoff, like, hey man, do not do that on the second one. But I was like, maybe he was just in a rush or something, so let me fill him out. And then he did it again. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this I'm like, he's gonna be like, yeah, none of the leads got back to me. But I'm like, yeah, because you sent him a link, bro. Like,
What was going through your head when he did the second one? Like, were you contemplating whether you should say something or not say something, or is that like what was going through your head at the time?
yeah, when he did it the second time, I'm like, okay, he's this is probably his process, because it doesn't seem like he's super busy right now, so I don't see why he would direct him. Like he's
Let me
not
a-
trying.
let me ask you this: why didn't you say something at the time?
Because the customer, like the lead didn't, like the first one didn't, just didn't have any issues. Like if the customer would have said something like no, I don't want to do that, or then I would have probably said something, but I just didn't get anything that would make me bring it up. Plus he was like, hey man, this is super cool. I've been looking for, a partner anyway to get leads. And he's like, right now I have a website. He sent me his website. His website's pretty cool, but he was like, yeah, I got this AI bot, and like, so he's super excited for it. Believes that he can close a high percentage of the leads, because he does painting, and I think he does other things as well, like
How long has he been in business, and what is his revenue right now?
that would be Kingsley. I don't think I have his revenue, but let me see how long he's been in my 8 years in business, I
Okay.
believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get his revenue tomorrow on the sales call. I may start asking that on the like the hook calls, like at least ask them how much what they generated last year, or like what they want to make. Or, oh no, they'll ask them what their revenue is monthly wise, so that way I can get a general idea.
I would always recommend see you guys, just really quick tip for you guys, everybody here, is whenever you ask the revenue question, start with where they want to be versus where they are. Never start with where they are, because if you ask where they are, that's intrusive. You say, okay, so you give a reason. So it's like, all right, so Jose, just really quick, give me an idea, assuming, the trial, assuming we're gonna knock it out the park for you, build a long-term relationship, where are we trying to get to? Like 3 months, 6 months time, where are you trying to be at monthly recurring revenue wise? Oh, I'm trying to be here. Got it. Cool. Not a bad goal at all. Where are we at right now relative to that? And then boom, now you've got where they want to be, where they are, and then from there you can get into like how to get there if you need to, but at least you have those two pieces of data. So anyways, that's it.
I love that. Thank you.
Yep. See you guys. But yeah, your gut instinct was right. And then yeah, start asking that revenue question, bro. And it's definitely an important one. But the guy, he's been in business for 8 years. He's probably doing okay. He's probably doing pretty good. What else you got for me, bro?
Shoot, we kind of went over a lot. You kind of covered pretty much everything. Um, yeah, I think everything else is pretty much Mason questions, really. I've been feeling good, man. I got 2 clients now, so it's just all about retaining them. Jim hit me back. I was gonna ask you like, oh shoot, we had the onboarding this morning. Um, Seemed like everything went pretty well, but he didn't watch the quick start guy videos. But he ended up texting me about an hour ago, like, hey, I didn't get the videos, so I just resent those over to him. Let me see, did I get any new leads? But no, I don't think I have anything right now. It's top of mind. Everything else is like just tech stuff, just getting set up so that I can make my workflow a little easier. Because now that I do have 2 clients, like once Jim gets launched, I'm still manually texting the leads over to them because I don't have phone numbers registered yet. Um, so let me see. Yeah, just getting automation set up stuff. Really, this is all Mason questions.
Um, Overall, how are you doing? Like anything noteworthy? Anything that you're like, hey, this would be interesting for Kushik to know, Mason know, anything at all that like anything?
Um, no, no. I mean, no. I'm just new journey for me because it's like a full-time job now, so I'm loving it. I'm just getting used to this process. Um, but nothing popped up so far as anything major yet.
So you feel stressed, anxious, any of those negative emotions?
I was feeling a little stressed, especially probably like last week because it was like I had some business owners hooked and then they were falling through, so I had to like rehook, and like that part can get a little stressful. And then of course being on top of hitting the leads that are coming in so that you can continue to do hook calls. Like I think that was kind of get a little stressful, but now that I have 2 clients now, so I only shut mine off for today because I was like, let me just kind of not like take a break, but kind of chill out because I do got another sales call tomorrow, so I turn my ads off while my clients ads been run. But yeah, just on that part. But other than that, I feel fine.
Okay.
That once I'll get these phone numbers registered and some automation set up, it'll be a lot less stressful. I can see that getting to me a little bit.
So the stressful part last week was that was from what exactly? Like, I understand it's like business owners falling through, but like, which part do you find stressful? Like, why is that stressful? Or like, what I'm trying to figure out is like, okay, I understand you were stressed last week, but did we do something different this week so that we don't have that stress anymore, or is that just part of the process? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess I would say there were a few things that we did differently because I think you tweaked up the what was it, the hook call script, and then of course you tweaked up the warm handoff, but like the hook call script now is like you got it dialed into the point where it's like they understand like, hey, you know, one, I'm not, these leads are yours for the trial, but I'll take them back, right? So I'm just putting more stipulations in there on the calls and just letting them know, like, hey, if you don't get back to me, if we don't hear from you, we get it, but we're shopping these to the next business owner. Like I wasn't saying all those things before, so I feel like now, because Kingsley was one of the ones I used the script for, and like, he calls me back, so like I have no issue with hopping on the call with him. Um, but so I guess yeah, those script, that hook call script helped out kind of that way just get a better understanding of what I can do on the call with the clients. So I felt like they were just kind of falling off a little too easy before I was having those stipulations. I don't know if it was because I probably wasn't getting them enough leads, or just probably move on, but maybe not hungry enough. So, um, but yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. It does. That helps me a lot. So it's like you had an issue last week, and the issue is attributed to you maybe not drilling them hard enough or setting proper expectation. And you're saying that the new script has potentially solved that problem, and therefore you won't have that problem moving forward. Is when you get a good one, they're probably going to respect you and probably, abide by what you need them to do, which will reduce your stress. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's good. That's great feedback, bro. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. The more of that you can give me, the more I can tweak things for you guys. If I understand what's working, what's not working for you guys. Um, Anything else that you feel like I should know, and then I could, again, the more feedback you give me, the more I brainstorm, I come up with ideas. Is there anything else that you feel like I could know that could get the wheels turning for me to help you guys out? Any like other processes that you're like, I wish this process was a little bit easier or different?
Um, I would say what part could be easier? Maybe the warm handoffs part. Maybe that could be a little easier. Sometimes playing phone tag could be, it's not stressful. It is what it is. Like if they don't pick up, it's nothing you can do. But maybe if we could get that part a little easier, like I don't know, but that may come down later in the road once we get things more dialed in. But
One, two, three, or just like generally all of them? It's just the overall process for all of them is like just because you're playing tag like that. Is it an issue because it's phone tag and you're trying to get, or is it specifically one, specifically two, specifically three?
no, I get what you're saying. I would say, well, I guess I have to take that back. Well, because now that I have that new script, it's like I feel like those stipulations definitely help. Because now they feel like, one, if they don't call me back, that I'm definitely moving forward. So, I would have to take that back because the warm handoff part, if you drill them right and they're hungry enough, they'll call you back. Um, but other than that, no, I don't really think there's anything we can make easier just yet. But if I come up with something, I'll write it down for sure.
How many hours are you putting in right now? Or how many hours did you put in last week?
Last week, no, that's gotta be. I gotta update my hours on there. But I'm doing like when I time myself, it's looking like about an hour 30, maybe 2 hours I'm putting in.
Okay.
But I feel like Yeah, but I feel like it's probably more than that. I just got to get better at like making sure I'm timing myself because I'm timing myself for sure when I'm doing the calls, like lead nurture. But I got to time myself for like everything. Like if I'm going in setting up an ad or like I got to time myself for everything. I'm just timing myself right now on like the highest priority, which is like calling people. But about 2 hours a day for on calls or hour and a half, 2 hours a day making calls.
And these are calls like hook calls and working leads calls.
Yeah,
So realistically, you think where you're putting like maybe 3 hours a day, 3, 4 hours
yeah,
a day?
yeah. We could say that 3 hours a day, and I know I need to probably get that to like 8 or 9. So,
Well,
but
it's not that. It's because I think what we were doing is we were calculating cost per acquisition. And so what that means is that if you're putting in 3 hours a day, um, and last week, I mean, are you saying you did 3 hours a day for 7 days, 5 days?
7 days.
So that's like 20 hours to get a close. I don't know if that math is right or not.
That's about right. If you're talking about like from the initial trial start, like before you even get them a warm handoff to like the time you actually book the call, that's about
Yeah, yeah. I guess what I'm saying is like what I'm trying to figure out is like how many hours of work do you have to put in every week to get a client? So if that's the case, then that means that if you're putting in a full work day, which is like, 6 hours, 8 hours, that means you should be closing like 2 deals a week. But I don't know if that math is correct or not. Because right now you're saying you put in 3 hours a day and that gives you one client. So that means theoretically, if you put in 6 hours, that should get you two clients a week.
yeah. I feel like that's why I was like, I need to get it up more to where I am working more hours so that I can have two a week. I think that sometimes I'll get 3 business owners hooked and then I'll put my focus on trying to get, them, pushed over instead of like keep hooking, like just keep going. I mean, like that part can be a little challenging because like if I get 3 business owners hooked and then I'm trying to get them leads and I'm still like trying to hook, throughout the week, like I'll be stacked up with a bunch of business owners. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'll still have like people to funnel them over through because I'm closing them. It's just a matter of how quickly can I get them pushed over to the sales call or get them the 3 leads per se. Because sometimes it can take 2, 3 days, or sometimes it can take a week. It just depends on the quality of the lead. You want to fill them out before you pitch them over.
What offer did you make Jose? Like $500 a week, 250 a week? What offer did you make him?
500.
Okay. So we'll know. I wish Aman was here. I'm guessing Aman didn't get a chance to close. You probably had some stuff going on or some sales calls probably fell through. Or did he close? I think he did close. He did close somebody
I
this
think
week.
he did close, unless he had another one that he didn't put in the free to feed. But I'm pretty sure he did close, and it was just a matter of his client staying for another week or so like that. I think that's where he was at.
Yeah, I remember now because I remember he left a comment saying, I got the W. Um, so you got a W, he got a W. That's what I'm seeing. Every week it seems like usually you guys bring in a W, which is great. Um, but what I want to see is retention. So how long is so each of your clients now are 1 week long, or because Jose you just signed.
Yeah, and Jim, he just started today because he was sick.
Okay, so basically we're still at a place of like, hey, we haven't gone past. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, so I would say let me know how this week goes, but I wanted to make a decision by this week to see if we pivot the call to the month. Um, but I feel I don't know, like I guess what are your thoughts? Like, do you want to pivot to like making the offer of like, hey, it's $1,000 for a month to get started, or do you want to keep doing what we're doing? Like, what I guess like what are your thoughts?
I'm cool with keep doing what I'm doing just to kind of see, just get more data before we try to convert to like 1,000 or for the full month, but just to see how it goes for this week. Um, because like I feel like if like I said, if I do more hours, I know I'll like for sure now, like since people are like I'm closing them, I can pick up two a week, like for sure when it comes to the closes, and then I'll have a better idea as if it'll make sense to just have them sign for 1,000 for the first month. Because like I want to go all the way there. Like when you guys were talking about the what is it, the 30K and 30-day cash injection, like that stuff excites me. So I'm ready to start doing stuff like that, but I gotta baby step it.
When you talk about the 30K in 30 days, you're talking about like the moment you sign somebody up, you're like reactivating their email list or something. You're talking about like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
What was I gonna say? How much have you spent so far, like running ads to do all these leads and stuff? Approximately. What I'm wondering is, I'm just trying to figure out approximately how much have you spent versus how much have you gotten paid so far?
In total for this month or just in general?
Just so everything from the free to fee, right? The moment you start the free to fee, about approximately how much have you spent versus approximately how much have you collected?
All right. So I spent so far. I spent 1671 and 75 cents in March. And April so far, I spent 1630.
Okay, so about 3,200.
Yeah, about 3300.
And then how much?
Oh, how much have I gotten paid? I have collected, let's see, 1750 so far.
Okay. And then of that 1750, how much have you kept versus how much has gone towards their ad spend?
Uh, Pretty much all of it has been going towards like the ad spend. I haven't really been able to keep anything for real.
Okay. Okay. So
And
basically,
that's
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was
No.
about to say that's because like I would have a client and then I would lose a client. So it's like I would spend money and just, trying to generate like that. April, I feel like it's high and March is high because I had like uh that client in Columbus and I had spent like a week of ad spend with him at a higher cost because it was fucking Columbus on top of me testing. So I was spending a lot of money. So yeah. But it's actually looking a lot better now. So like now I'm only spending like for the hooks, I'll do 50 a day, and then each client is 35 a day. And then if I have to test anything out, then that was whether I want to however much I want to spend there.
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, I would because the number one thing in business is don't run out of money. Like that's the number one thing. Don't run out of money.
Right.
That's the most important thing. If you run out of money, then you can't do shit. So we're 3,200 in. You've made 1,700, but you basically spent that 1,700. So basically, we're about 3,200 that we got to figure out like how to get out of the red first before we talk about profitability. That could be one client. That could be a paid in full 5K. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just reflecting on the numbers. I want like I feel like $3,200 is a good amount of investment for you to have invested and for us to like learn these lessons. But I'm like looking at this number. I'm like, we got to make an ROI. You know what I mean? We got to make an ROI. It's good to learn, but we got to make an ROI at the end of the day, right? So I'm just blabbering. I guess like anything you want me to know or anything you want to talk about regarding that, or
I'm glad you brought that up because that was probably gonna be like a question that I was gonna have to come and get because I was like I am spending a lot and I do like you said you can't run out of money. Um, I just figured it's like because I know you'd be saying you can't be cheap, if you're building $1 million business. So that's why I was like, don't stress out too much about it. And like you said, one paid in full client and you're green, right? So I guess um I'm not really too worried because like I do have other resources coming in now. Like so I'm not dependent on just this. If I was, it would be scary as shit. But I don't think I have anything regarding the how much I'm spending other than, like your thoughts and what I can do to make sure I don't,
that's where my focus was coming from of a place of like, hey, other financial resources. So now that I
okay.
know that, that makes me feel a lot better. Because
Okay.
that the mentality that you have of like, hey, you gotta spend money to learn and like that's the right mentality. It's straight up. Like there's no other ways about it. You gotta spend the money, you gotta learn, you gotta fail forward. You guys spend 100, again, I'm gonna spend $1,500 just to figure out that one ad that you're using. You spent $1,500 just to figure that out. That's the cost of business. So the fact that you have other funds coming in, that makes me feel better. Can I ask about that or is that private?
You can ask about it. I'm cool. I'm open, but
Is that, so I know you
I'll
had
be
funds from a dealership. Like, I guess, like, where's the other funds coming in from now?
that's unemployment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Uh,
fine.
Employment. And that's good for a year. I just have to keep filing. I filed my taxes and I still haven't got that back, and I should be getting that back this week. And they're giving me a pretty huge lump sum of like 10K. So I was like, I can pay down some debt. That like I had already spent like for ads and stuff like that. That way I've kind of got more money there. And then from there just keep closing deals. Just keep closing
Okay.
deals, you know,
How much
start
are you
figuring.
getting right now? How much so you're getting 10K from the taxes. How much are you getting monthly or weekly from the program?
I'm getting 600 a week.
Okay.
So more than what I was making at a dealership. It was like freaking $300. I'm just like crazy, man. I don't even know how I was doing it, but
So good. So you're chilling then. You're in an okay place then.
very, very okay. That's why I was like I know I'm spending a lot of money, but I'm like, I do have things coming in now. Like, and that just kicked in this week. So I'm like, sweet. I was like, I was getting thin. I was like, yo, as long as I keep closing deals, I'll be all right. Cause I have a little money for ad spend. And I was like, that's all you need to keep going right now is ad spend money. So
Okay, good.
uh those other resources, I'll be cool. I'll be cool.
Okay, in that case, then we're chilling. Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better. Aside from that, bro, anything else that you had for me? I'm gonna let you chill out with Mason, but anything else you had for me?
Nope, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, okay. Going once, going twice.
That's it. I'm good. This is Mason questions.
Right. In that case, then, Mason, I'm just gonna bounce, and then if you want to hop on another Zoom call with Righteous, help him with the tech stuff. Unless there's anything else that you had for me, Mason.
No, I could jump on a call.
Cool, cool. All right, then. I'll see you fellas next week.